Again, what's kind of been the thought process of the last 36 hours or so?
I mean, I've just been going through this process like everybody else, trying to enjoy it. I mean, you only have to do this type of thing one time in your life, so I'm just enjoying it, just like all the other guys, trying to take it one day at a time.
Cooper, how did you watch the lotteries? How did you kind of process all that?
I mean, we had a pretty good little ceremony to go over there. We, went and had a little talent talk with Adam Silver beforehand, and then me and all the guys went up and got seated, and actually went a lot quicker than I expected. I didn't realize how quickly it all happened. But it was fun. It was a good environment. It was a lot of fun.
When you saw some other teams moving up that weren't supposed to be moving up, I mean, what's going through your mind when you see the last four teams?
I mean, I saw the teams like everybody else, but I think it was, kind of a crazy sequence of events. They're all really great teams on the board, so it's nothing really to look at like that.
I know the goal is to get to the NBA and to be in the NBA, and so the team matters to some degree, but doesn't matter. I just wonder now that this is, that this is where you're likely to go, just kind of how you think you could best help them if they do take it.
Yeah, I mean, I think, like you said, grateful to get this opportunity, any opportunity to any team to be able to hear my name called on draft night and shake Adam Silver's hand. So I'm just really excited for this whole opportunity, the environment to go through this process. Not everybody gets to do this, so just really, really blessed. As far as Dallas goes, I mean, they got a lot of really good pieces. Be live, going from Duke, that's pretty cool. So I think it would be a really cool opportunity.
Yeah.
There was so much speculation toward the end of the Duke season that, really say where we go into the process of deciding, right, you were going to make this move.
I mean, I think it's a lot of things, just reflecting, looking back on the season we were able to have, um, meeting with the coaches, meeting with my family, deciding what was best for me.
Cooper, I mean, you're not the only guy from your team in this process, and I want to ask you a little bit about Khaman, Maluach, and obviously know him very well, but what should teams know about him? Or
Yeah, I mean, I think it's interesting. I want to say, nine people that I've played with going through this draft process right now, between Duke and Marburg. So obviously it's a really cool experience to be able to have 9 guys that I'm really close with and have really good relationships with. To go through this process is really cool. As far as Khaman, I mean, he's a great kid. He's a pure human being. I love him to death. He works really hard. He's going to be great wherever he ends up.
we say pure human being, like, what would you mean by that?
I mean, he's just a pure soul. Like, some people you can just tell, their intentions, everything about them is just so pure. And Khaman is just one of those people. It's just, he's always so genuine, he's so kind, just a great person.
And does that translate a little bit on the floor? Like, he played a pretty selfless role for you guys, I would say.
Yeah, I would say that definitely translates onto the court, just being selfless, being about the team instead of himself, and putting others, the team first.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Cooper, just bouncing off of having teammates here, what can you just say about being teammates with Khan and what you think?
What was your dad's best advice, whether it was one thing or multiple things that stuck out to you?
Probably just how hard you got to work to really make it. I mean, he has stories for days about work ethic, and Michael Jordan work ethic, Kobe's work ethic, and just what they did and how they carried themselves every day. It's definitely that.
Is there anything that was ever written about you on a scouting report, maybe that you think is a misconception about your game?
I mean, I feel like I'm a very well-rounded player. I'm very versatile. I think I can do a little bit of it all. But I mean, probably the little stuff like shooting, probably doesn't play defense, little things like that. But I mean, obviously I got a lot of things to work on, but I feel like all areas of my game are good, but I feel like I can get extremely better at everything.
Hopefully, many years from now, you're going to hang up your sneakers. What would you like to have accomplished in your career if you can attain everything you desire?
Definitely an MVP. I mean, best player in the league, with an MVP. Definitely a championship. When I have that moment, just be one of the NBA legends. Yeah, but I feel like now it's kind of just second nature.
And coming from a basketball family, when did you start playing? When did they first put the ball in your hands?
Man, they put a ball in my hands when I was a baby. I mean, I've been around the game all my life and watching my brother workouts, watching my dad train kids and coach, and my mom coaching. I mean, I've been in the gym all my life, so I really just I can't give you an exact date, but I'd be like 1, 2.
And how has that helped your like natural feel as a basketball?
Tremendously, just because I have people around me that have such high IQs and taught me the game the right way. Not like they teach the right things. You know, when I was younger, I was always do the right thing, never do something because it's convenient for the moment. So I mean, that's really helped me.
Yeah, what were those conversations like on the ride home from a game when you were a kid? Pretty detailed.
I mean, my mom was my coach, so I was hearing it during the game and after the game. So I mean, it was pretty. I mean, it's probably the regular things you hear, but it's just more of teaching points and just teaching lessons.
What was your dad's best advice, whether it was one thing or multiple things that stuck out to you?
Probably just how hard you got to work to really make it. I mean, he has stories for days about work ethic, and Michael Jordan work ethic, Kobe's work ethic, and just what they did and how they carried themselves every day. It's definitely that.
Is there anything that was ever like written about you on a scouting report, maybe that you think is like a misconception about your game?
I mean, I feel like I'm a very well-rounded player. I'm very versatile. I think I can do a little bit of it all. But I mean, probably the little stuff like shooting, probably like doesn't play defense, little things like that. But I mean, obviously I got a lot of things to work on. But I feel like all areas of my game are good. But I feel like I can get extremely better at everything.
Hopefully, many years from now, you're going to hang up your sneakers. What would you like to have accomplished in your career if you can attain everything you desire?
Definitely an MVP. I mean, best player in the league, with an MVP. Definitely a championship when I have that moment. Just be one of the NBA legends.
Khaman, how do you explain just how the season?
Describe Ace Bailey's game.
Pro. That's how I describe it. Pro. I mean, he could score when he wanted to. He could play make, facilitate, defend. He do everything. But I mean, I see his scoring, but I mean, he do a lot of things. I think his IQ is very underrated. I think not a lot of people understand his IQ. But once you sit down and you're with him, you understand it. Like, but from a scoring standpoint, man, he's 6'10". He see over everyone. I mean, I probably see a score better than him.
Who would you compare him to? I mean, obviously you play with him, you know his game pretty well.
T-Mac, young T-Mac, young T-Mac, like very like twitchy, dominate. He gonna get a bucket, like he gonna go get to his spots. He's gonna force his will into the game.
How about for you? Your own comparisons.
Probably like James Harden, Cade Cunningham, Shea, them type of guards, big guards. How he moves. I mean, I just love to play. So definitely be Jase.
So what did your dad tell you about MJ and Kobe's work ethic? You alluded to that.
I mean, definitely that, like, first was in the gym, last was out. Yeah, I heard all the stories. I mean, everyone tells the stories about them. But just all the hard work and sacrifice they put in, like, just little things like, yeah, like, you might, like, see them outside, but, like, they in the gym 4 or 5 in the morning before anyone else in the gym. So there's little things like that.
What is it like sharing this week with Thomas Sorber and Tahad Tedford, 2 guys who you've grown up with, essentially?
I mean, it's definitely cool to see because we was all little kids just 5, 6 years ago, and that was like one big reunion, so it's definitely special to see them all here with us.
Thanks, Dylan.
What were you thinking about it as, Dallas and San Antonio and those teams were rising up the board?
It was like, wow, it's crazy. I mean, but it's possible. Anything's possible. But seeing that was just crazy. It was like,
So, speaking of the Spurs, if Dylan were to get hurt, what kind of damage do you think that duo could do?
oh God, that'd be great. I mean, that'd be crazy. Not great because I gotta play against it probably. But it'd be amazing to watch them two. I mean, with Dylan Pace and his feel for the game, and then Wemby, his feel for the game, it'd just be crazy.
Are you working out for any teams leading up to the draft?
We would have to see.
You haven't had anything set yet?
We would have to see.
Oh, okay.
How do you want to develop your game in the NBA?
Definitely get stronger for sure. Get my body ready for the next level so I can be able to take that bump. I mean, get more consistent with the shot. I mean, that was really, and ball handling wise, take care of the ball more because I know I'm going to be handling the ball a lot.
And with ball handling, especially, is that on drives? Is that,
all of it?
How do you see it?
All of it got something to do with ball handling, driving. I mean, with creating shots, all of it's ball handling. So I want to get better with ball handling.
Who have you patterned your game after over the years?
KD, Paul George, Jason Tatum, and T-Mac. But
Anyone
I can
in
see some
particular?
Melo too. I can see some mellow. Nah, all three of them, we all do the same thing for real. We create shots. I mean, we can shoot over defenders. We create our own space and stuff like that. So, they're my three. But I like Carmelo Anthony too, though, with the mid post.
Some pretty good players.
Yeah, great players.
Yeah. Do you watch the playoffs? And if so, what do you take away from kind of watching that high level of basketball?
Competitive. It's very competitive. I mean, everybody is win or go home, so everybody fighting for their next spot.
Is it easy to envision yourself being there in a year?
Sure. I
Or
see myself there for sure.
Is this the most time you've spent with Cooper, and what have you taken away from getting to know him a little bit?
Cooper who? Flagg?
Yeah, that guy.
I talked to him, my
Yeah.
agent. Oh, my dog Coop. No, my dog Coop. He cool. I learned a lot. I mean, we laugh, enjoy, we talk a lot. I mean, we talk about the combine, seeing each other in the league, all of it. It's all good vibes, no bad.
For those that didn't see your game, like, what do you think you can do in the NBA? Like, what can you bring to that level, do you think, from college to the NBA, your game specifically?
Okay.
Your game. What can you do in the NBA, your game? How can you translate your game to the NBA, basically, what I'm trying to ask you?
I mean, just staying sharp with everything. I mean, sharpening my tools, keeping everything in structure and all that.
If a team drafts you, what kind of player are they going to get? Like, what kind of character are you going to bring to the team and stuff
I'm
like
a very energetic guy. I mean, love to be around me, very having fun, uplifting. I mean, very funny. I like to be around me. I mean, very competitive person too.
You mentioned being funny. What about that kind of
I'm a jokester. I like to joke. I mean, I be joking a lot. I mean, somebody have a bad day, I'm the type of person to come crack a joke too, make somebody laugh.
What's Dylan like off the court?
Funny. I mean, very wholesome, humble person. I mean, loves to be around. I mean, he always put others first. He's not that person that belittle somebody just because who he is or like where he comes from. He always humble. Always. You wouldn't even think he does what he does. He's humble.
If you're drafted by Charlotte.
Did you expect this when you came here this week?
That's the mindset I came in with, yeah. That's what I wanted, this what I planned, yeah.
By the way, are you friends at all with Keyshawn George? I know you guys are both.
Yeah, we grew up playing against each other.
Really?
Against each other, and we also played national team with each other.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So what's it feel like, this new group of Swiss basketball players?
Oh, that's good. That feels great. I mean, for us, Swiss basketball is able to show we can play, able to put ourselves on the map of basketball. Yeah, no, it's a great feeling.
When you watch film, who are some guys you're watching and why?
I really like to watch Jerry Allen. I like the way he blocks the ball. I like the way he plays above the rim. I also like to watch Anthony Davis. He also being a big lob threat. And yeah.
And if you have to get yourself a pro comp, who would it be?
I'll tell myself Jerry Allen. Yeah.
Pretty good guy to have.
That's it. That's it. Appreciate you.
What is it you think stood out?
Or NC State is the other.
Gotcha.
The other, I think Memphis is still there. But yeah. When you look back on the year you had at Duke, coming from obviously not the same spotlight like that you had at Duke. Now that you're here in this moment, do you feel like you did what you needed, you sought to do when you left Tulane and went on this journey for last year?
100%, and it's kind of cool that as good as things have been, it played out even better than I could have hoped, because not only did I position myself to backtrack, not only did we almost win the national championship, I also had, and I'm in the position I am to be now in the NBA, but also had the time of my life. I had a fun time, and as you get older, the game becomes more and more serious, so to take a pause and to have a really fun year playing basketball when you're not sure how long it's awesome, and I'm really thankful for it. So yeah, I definitely did what I was supposed to do and then more.
You mentioned that team. I mean, obviously a bunch of you guys are going to get drafted from that team, but Cooper's the one who gets a lot of the attention. I'm curious, what was he like to be around for the past year? What's he like that people don't see?
Man, he's the best. Of course you see, he's a great player, whatever, we all know about that, but he's just such a fun dude to be around. He's a great guy for any team culture just because he loves the people he's around. He has a good attitude every day. He plays the right way. He takes care of himself. He brings a certain joy to just being around him. He's awesome. He's honestly a great dude, someone that I've really enjoyed being on the team with.
Where are you from originally?
Sugar Hill, Georgia.
Sugar Hill, Georgia.
Right outside of Atlanta.
Can you ever tell he's from Maine?
I don't know, man. He's such a regular, steady dude. He could be from anywhere.
For you, when you're watching tape, who are you watching when you're trying to take them out?
I try to watch, honestly, I watch a lot of players. More than anything, I'm not just watching one specific guy. I'm watching teams and the way they play. But there are certain guys, I'm watching the playoffs still going on, like Drew Holiday, and watching how how he impacts the game on both ends from different spots on the floor. Some of these other wings that are playing too, just watching the way that they continue to make impacts everywhere.
And if someone asked you what's the pro comp you'd give yourself?
That's probably the closest one. I don't think it's a perfect one-to-one comparison, but that's probably the closest one.
Good comp to have.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
And you're a guy who's unique. You can play multiple positions. You have a solid frame to go against bigger guys. You're quick enough to go against small guys. What's your natural position if someone asks you?
My natural position's always been point guard. That's what I feel best at doing. I feel best with having the ball in my hand. But most importantly, I feel best being on the basketball court, whether you give me the ball or not. So I've kind of developed the ability to play on and off the ball.
Great. And what's an underrated, overlooked skill people need to take notice?
Of mine?
Yes.
I don't really think about it that way. I think, I don't really have a great answer for that. I just say, watch me and see what happens, I guess. see what you think.
Sweet, I appreciate you, bro.
Thank you.
Good one.
Of course, you too.
Is there when you
How's everything going with you?
I'm doing good.
Yeah. What do this combine? What are you trying to prove out here?
What I'm trying to prove? Same thing I've been proving my whole life. Not about being overlooked, but just need a chance, an opportunity, just to showcase my abilities. The biggest platform in which I've been blessed to come out here and participate in the combine. But really just my all-around game, my versatility, my offensive threat as well as my defensive capabilities and guarding multiple positions.
Outside of the weight room, what would you say you need to improve on the most?
Say it again.
Like outside the weight room, I'm not saying like.
So you're calling me weak?
Nah, it's just because that's a very common answer that people say I need to go to the weight room. But
I love the weight room. I love working out. Definitely working on my body. But main improvement is definitely 3-point shooting. I feel like that's what all the teams are gonna say. So I feel like it's good though. Once the three ball gets really good, then it just opens up a lot of opportunities, and I'm gonna become that much more of a threat on the floor.
What would you say you've been working on to improve on your 3-point shot?
Just consistency, mechanics, and just knowing when to take the shots, not being hesitant, and just shooting the ball with confidence.
A couple last ones here. What would you say is your most underrated thing about you that people don't know about?
Most underrated?
Yeah.
I think my passing ability.
The passing ability?
Yeah, I'd probably say that's the most underrated.
Who are your player comps?
Player comps? I don't know. I haven't got any new ones yet. I'm still waiting for some new ones to come out.
Okay. Okay, last one here. What kind of players did you watch like on YouTube when you were growing up?
On YouTube?
Yeah.
LeBron, Dwayne Wade, Kevin Durant. Just a lot of versatile guys that can do everything on the floor.
Appreciate it, man.
Thank you.
Pronounce your name for me. I just want to make sure I say it right. My name's just a mouthful too. So
I want to hear how you say it.
Ciro Aceo de Cook.
Whoa. Ciro Aceo. Okay.
Yeah.
How you think you say my name?
Ortega.
Yeah.
Away.
Oh man, see, you gotta trust yourself. You know it. You got it.
Hey, foreign parents. So
I already know that. Bro, I'm telling you, everyone calls me Ortega, the craziest thing.
Yeah,
but you
bro.
got it. Yeah.
Hey, Golden Cold worse,
Yeah, facts. Literally.
So, bro, what were you trying to, whether you played or not, what were you just trying to prove to people coming here?
That I'm just one of the best two-way players in the country. I think I am the best two-way player. So, I think I showed a lot of glimpses in the game we just had. And overall, that I'm a winner, team guy. The game we just played, we won by like 30. So, just going out there and just having high energy and just doing the things that, a lot of guys may not want to do, whether it's, guarding the best player, having the utmost energy. So,
when you're watching film, who are you watching and what are you trying to take from them?
Yeah, I watch a lot of Dwayne Wade, Jimmy Butler, Lou Dort, Josh Okogie, like those guys. It's a mixture because, like I said, I'm trying to be the best two-way player. So, in the same way that, I'm trying to guard the best player on the court every single night, I'm also trying to, put points on the board and do all that stuff and win my matchups. So, the main thing for me is, just the intensity and how those guys play. I try and model my game after because they do it every single night. And it's hard to do it, but I want to do it. So.
Let's go off of that then. If someone asked you to give yourself a pro comp, who would you say?
Pro comp? I'm gonna say Jimmy Butler. Yeah.
Tough it out.
Yeah, I like Jimmy a lot.
So you're more of a swingman, a two guard. What do you think?
I'm a two-man. I'm a two guard. But I always say like whatever the coach wants me to play. Like I've played the 4 before. I played the 3. I played the 2. I played the 1. So
as long as you're on the court.
That's literally that's my biggest thing.
So what's a skill you think's overlooked or underrated that people need to take notice of?
Talking, communication, like especially in settings like this, you don't know the people you're playing with. So just getting out your shell and just talking. And even if you don't know what you're saying, just being vocal and just knowing that you're out there. Like people got to know you're out there.
Yeah. What teams you worked out with?
Okay.
Thank you.
I worked out with Celtics. I worked out with Portland. In Houston.
Because you're all cross country.
Literally, yeah. But I'm happy that I could do this because I didn't think I'd be in this situation. So the fact that I could travel to go play basketball for free too is a blessing.
Awesome. Who's your GOAT, by the way?
LeBron James. 100%.
Why?
I just feel like no one plays the game he does. Like he's Magic Johnson, but can score the ball like Michael Jordan and just physical, dominant, smart.
Hey, best of luck, bro.
Yes, sir.
Really enjoy talking to you, man.
You too, man.
Can't wait to keep watching you.
Can you pronounce is it Nicholas?
Sorry?
Can you pronounce your first name? Nicholas?
Yeah. Call me Neo.
Neo?
Yes.
Neo, 2025 draft combine. Just what has the experience been like for you being here in Chicago and with the rest of the draft process?
It's great, man. It's great. Just to be here with all these guys, get better. It's very nice to miss. Great experience for sure to keep for the future.
What there's probably a lot of fans here that maybe aren't as familiar with you as some of the other guys that played in the U.S. Just how would you describe your game and the kind of player and teammate that you are?
I think I'm a tall guy. Definitely my pass is underrated. I feel like I can pass the ball very well, find my teammates, make them better. I can play good defense too, especially these last 2 years in the men's team. Did a great job there. I can shoot the ball, so pretty much a little bit of everything. So.
You played for a couple different teams. You're signed with Olympiacos, played with a couple different teams this year. How were you able to kind of take your game another step this season? Was it Preasteri?
Yes, first time. For me, it was just a matter of timing. Before 2 years, I was in Kardica. Didn't get a lot of play time, but this year the coach trusted me. My work showed up, so yeah, it was a very good season for me. I really improved.
What do you want fans here to know about you as you kind of get into this draft process, or maybe teams? What do you want teams to know about you, and maybe how your game can translate from Europe to the NBA?
I think that I have a long way to go more. These last 2 years, like I said, I saw a lot of improvement, but I got a lot of improvement to see. In the next years, for sure. My work ethic, I want to be in the gym every day. And like I said before, whatever team needs me to do, I will do it. It's just a matter of time for me. So yeah, whatever role it is, I'll do it.
When you're watching film, who are some guys you're watching, and what are you trying to take from them?
I've been watching Luka Doncic. I think I like his game a lot. I used to watch him when he was in Real Madrid. I like his pace, how he controls the game, his passing, everything.
If you had to give yourself a pro comparison, who would it be?
I think him, yeah. Maybe some years before.
What's your natural position? You played some point guard, you played some shooting guard, and you even played the wing.
Yeah, I think I play everything, but I like to play the point guard. For sure, some guys will say, no, because of my height, but I like to play point guard.
And playing in Europe, it's a lot more react instead of structured set. For you, how did you go through those pains being such a young kid playing with men and just keeping your confidence whenever you made a mistake?
I was playing with men, since I was 15 years old. I used to it. I was dreaming of this, become a professional basketball player. So it was easy for me. And then translation, from the under 18 to the men's, for some guys may be difficult, but I think it was very nice to me. In these 2 years especially, I've been seeing a lot of improvement.
Appreciate you, man. Have a good one.
What have you learned?
Right now, honestly, shoot threes, defend. But I would probably say
I would say that 2016, that was probably like the prime, not the prime, but I just love that time. Bron was in his prime. Steph Curry was hooping, so KD, everybody was healthy, so I enjoyed that time.
Would you rather have unlimited dunks or unlimited threes?
Unlimited threes. It's worth more.
Would you rather be the funniest player or the best dressed player?
The funniest player or the what?
The best dressed.
The best dress? Probably the best dress. I feel like the best dress is like.
So you don't want to be funny?
I enjoy
or you're
being.
naturally funny.
I just enjoy being who I am. So I mean.
Okay.
I ain't trying to be the funniest one.
Good. Thank you so much, Milos.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Hey man, do you pronounce your name? Because my uncle has the same name, and he's Milos, and from Yugoslavia.
Okay, yeah. Milos Izan, for sure.
Are you like Eastern European descent or something?
No, I'm just my dad's Italian, but my parents just came up with the name.
I'm just wondering, like I'm from Cedar, so you know.
Okay, I'm from Las Vegas, Nevada, man. I'm from the east side of Vegas.
That's why, because I looked up and I was like, dude, I feel like he has to have foreign parents or something. Makes sense, the Italian dad.
For
Do you know where in Italy?
So he was actually adopted. So his mom's, I put out his business, but his mom's came to Vegas, and that's where he met my mom. So
that's awesome. And for you, man, when you're watching film, who are you trying to watch and take stuff from? And why?
I watch a lot of point guards. I watch a lot of Nemhard. Nemhard's a really good point guard. Who else? I like Damian Lillard. He was my favorite player growing up. So a lot of John Wall. I just like to watch a lot of good point guards and try to take pieces from their game and try to apply it to mine.
If someone asked you to give yourself a pro comp, who would it be?
A lot of them would say Nemhard. Yeah,
it's a pretty good one. Look what he's doing.
Nah, for sure. He's pretty good on the ball and off the ball. He can shoot the ball pretty well, and he makes the right reads. So,
last question is, what's an underrated or overlooked skill
of mine?
Yeah, that people need to take notice.
I would probably say my shooting ability. I shot the ball pretty well this year, but last year I took a little slump, so I would probably say my shooting ability. For sure. Appreciate you.
You said Milos, right?
Yes, sir. Milos.
Best of luck to you, bro.
Thank you. Hey, Milos. How you doing? Good. How you doing?
What were you trying to prove here, regardless playing or not? What do you want to show people?
That I'm a good shooter. I don't think numbers really showed, especially later in the year. My efficiency dropped after the second half of the season. Just show people that I'm a good shooter. I'm a confident shooter, and I can come out here and compete with anybody.
When you're watching film, who are some guys you're watching, and what are you trying to take from them?
I've been watching a lot of like Dyson Daniels, Jalen Williams. He was my host on my Santa Clara official visit, and see him in the league and have a great first 3 years. It's really cool to see. Just guys that are secondary playmakers, defend the ball very well, get a lot of deflections. I think I have opportunity to be like that in the league.
Nice. And if somebody asked you, who's a pro comp you'd give yourself?
I'd say right now Dyson Daniels. I think I could turn into a secondary playmaker with development, but just a very good defender with that gets a lot of deflections and good activity.
You got to be confident.
No, definitely.
So for you, what's an underrated or overlooked skill? You kind of talked about it, but what's something that people need to take notice?
My passing ability, honestly. I think I'm a really good playmaker, especially when I just make the simple plays. Today I had 4 assists, 0 turnovers, so glad I was able to display it a little bit. We got another game tomorrow. Hopefully be able to display it the same way.
And last question right here, who's your GOAT and why?
My GOAT is LeBron James, and because I was born in 2004, so.
I appreciate you, bro. Best of luck, man.
Thank you.
I'm doing good.
Good. Enjoyed today?
It was fun. Play a little shit, but play a little shitty, but we move on. It's okay.
What were you trying to prove while you were here, man? What were you trying to prove while you were here?
Oh, we're starting now.
Yeah, go for it.
Oh, okay.
Just natural.
What I want to prove is that I've had a pretty tough season. This year wasn't really, the performance wasn't there like last one. So I'm just trying to prove that I still got it, my talent and everything. And it's just to show what I can do on the floor, like show what I contribute on the court to help the team win. That's what's the most important right now.
What do you think you bring to a team day one? skill-wise? What's your skill that you can bring?
Definitely stretching the floor, spacing the floor. I'm a stretch big, and best thing I do also, I'm a very competitive person. I want to win every single game. I'm a good rebounder. I'm aggressive on the rebound, especially on offense. Also, I can find my teammates as well. I play for the team as well. What else we got? That's pretty much it.
So when you're watching film, who are you watching?
When I'm watching film, NBA players I like watching the most are Naz Reid from the Timberwolves, and also Lauri Markkanen. They're the players I like to kind of play. I want to play like them. Exactly. So for example, look at a player like Naz Reid, very overall versatile player, and he's able to space the floor, put the ball on the floor, attack on the perimeter, one-on-ones, and also on defense, he's got really good length. And he can be able to defend multiple positions, which is very valuable in today's basketball. And Lauri Markkanen got a lot more flashier, a little more flashier player. That's what I like to also see, but also very similar. Also, great, excellent shooter, great ISO player as well in the post. Got really good moves, very athletic.
For you, if someone asks you, who would you do a pro comp to? Yeah, they compare yourself to a player. Who would be your pro comp?
I'd say I'm gonna go on the Croatian route here and say Zubac.
Zubac.
Yeah.
All right. What other Croatian players? I know Dario Saric is another one from.
Yeah, Dario. Dario's also been a big fan of Dario for a lot of years, and also one player that was also a former NBA player, Mario Hezonja. He currently plays in Real Madrid. I played against him these last 2 seasons. Difficult, very difficult at first because he's an excellent shooter. He can shoot it from anywhere. So I gotta you can be 5 steps away from the 3-point line, you can still hit it. So that's definitely was tough to guard. He got a lot of off screens, and very, very quick, very athletic player. So one of my hardest matchups I've had in Europe so far.
That's awesome. My last question is who's your GOAT as a European guy? Do you have a guy that you consider your favorite or the greatest player either in Europe or in the NBA?
Greatest of all time, you mean?
Yeah, in your eyes. Just basketball, international or NBA.
Well, I'm gonna say the GOAT is for me LeBron James, and also one very underrated player that should also be considered Tim Duncan. I think that Tim Duncan is a very underrated player. He's the greatest power forward of all time. I don't think he gets enough credit for that.
I appreciate you, Mike.
Okay, thank you.
Keep happy. I'm gonna grab that microphone. I'm going, bro.
So you're saying you want to go this first?
League, I think who says it, but someone says it's not a cupcake league, and that's very real. So just being put in a very tough league, almost like thrown in the deep end after my 1 year of college, and kind of just having to adapt. And I feel like I've learned so much about the game itself, and from my peers who I've played with. So it's kind of just helped me develop as a player.
So with that, kind of from playing in a professional league to competing against guys who are around your same age, what's the biggest thing that you've noticed personally?
It's a different style of game, from what we play in the NBL to what it is over here. But I feel like I'm almost bringing a little bit of that NBL play style over here. I'm trying to, direct and coach on the court a little bit, as that vocal on-court player. But, everyone's, a lot more athletic, and, there's, guys are skillful, very skillful over here. That's what they do. So that, especially just that American, guard, very shifty, agile, but everyone can, jump through the roof, and I guess that's the main difference compared to the NBL.
And then, sorry, last one for me. What kind of, from being here this week, what do you hope that the NBA sees in you that's different from what they would see in you from the NBL?
I think maybe just on a overall basis, just I can, contribute to, success. I feel like, there's stuff in the NBL that, I haven't really shown, which I think, when you see me in person, I look like I move a little bit better. There's not too much there. I feel like, what you see, what you get with me, but hopefully just seeing me in person, they can appreciate what I do a bit more.
Thank you.
Thank you.
What's it mean to have that logo?
That's pretty, pretty unreal, It's been a dream of mine forever, so it's pretty, it feels pretty good.
Does it feel real yet? I mean, it's not draft night yet. It's not the season.
No.
But this is as close as you've been.
Yep.
So can you explain the level of excitement to be this close to this thing?
I'm just soaking it all in, you know. This whole process, as I said, like, just want to get better. You know, if nothing eventuates from this, then that's okay. Like, I'm just putting 110% effort into everything I do, and, you know, I can at least say I tried.
There was a time when people might look at the game here and the game in Europe, the game in Australia, and say, okay, there's really distinct differences. It's not really the case anymore. How much does that help you that it is getting closer to one global version of the game that's kind of played almost the same way everywhere?
Yeah, I guess, you know, as basketball develops, you know, the play style that you get is kind of more universal, and, you know, it's becoming a bit more positionless. Everyone can kind of do a bit of everything, and, you know, I think there's definitely still some differences between the leagues, but I feel like overall it's coming, you know, more together. But, you know, it's only a good thing, right? You know, if they see me perform in the NBL, then if it's a similar play style, then maybe I'll be able to perform over here. So,
for you, how important was it to have veterans like Jesse Wagstaff and other guys like that to be, you know, there on the team to take care of you?
I'm not on Perth.
Oh no, I know. I was just using Jesse as an example.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Because he's a legend in Australia. You know what I mean? Yeah, I knew that.
For sure. Yeah.
So what's it like? You had a bunch of vets on the team.
Yeah.
What's the difference of that when you were at UC Riverside?
You know, like, even on Riverside, like, I had some, like, 4th, 5th year guys that, you know, could, you know, teach me a little bit and kind of show me the ropes a little bit. But, you know, especially going into my first year with the Hawks, Gary Clark kind of took me under his wing, and, you know, Justin Robinson and Tyler Harvey have also been really good, and more recently Trey Coe and Darius Days, these are all guys have had really good NBA experience, and, you know, they know how it works, and kind of just them telling me about it is, it's been really helpful.
And what's your natural position, man? You were playing drop coverage big out there, then you were playing 4 at times. What is your natural position in Australia, and what do you think it is?
So, I mean, I've been playing 5 in Australia for the last 2 seasons. You know, a bit of 4 here and there, but growing up, I was always, you know, I was a 3-4 growing up when I first initially got into the AAS, and, you know, so I take pride in a lot of my guard skills because it's something I heavily work on as well. So, but for right now, I guess you just call me a forward. You know, I'm working on that, stretching the court game as well. So, you know, once that piece is all together, I feel like I can be a stretch big. I could be a versatile, small ball 5, kind of. I don't know. That's what I kind of see myself being.
If you had to give yourself a pro comp, who would it be?
Pro comp. I'm really liking Sengun at the moment from the Rockets. I really think, you know, similar with how we kind of dribble the ball and use our body to create advantages and, you know, finish around the ring.
And what tape are you watching? What are you trying to take from those guys you watch?
You know, I just put on a full game. You know, I don't really watch highlights because, you know, highlights always show you what
you want to see.
People want to see, right? So, no, I like to put on full games and just kind of analyze what every possession looks like, so I can be realistic about it.
That's a good way to put it. Hey, bro, enjoy watching you. Best of luck, man.
Appreciate it. Thanks so much. Hey, how are you?
So Kobe, what are you trying to prove out here? Now that you've been here at the Combine?
You know, just trying to prove myself, trying to show myself at a higher level. I think I've shown myself at a low to mid major, then at a mid major, and now just trying to show that I compete with the best of them.
You know, you've seen a lot of competition being at a low and mid major. Now you're here. What would you say the competition is like? Are you surprised, or do you feel like you belong?
I feel like I belong. I think I've been playing basketball for as long as anybody is in here, and I feel like at every level I've faced challenges, but I feel like I've always overcome them, and I think my basketball IQ helps me play at any level.
What would you say you need to improve on the most?
I think just improving on everything every day. You know, basketball is an evolving game, and just trying to perfect everything of my game. I think I haven't shown that I could shoot the 3 ball at the level that I want to. So just working on consistency with that, and then, you know, getting a little stronger, a little faster, just so defensively I could be an asset guarding 1 through 4.
What would you say is the most underrated thing about you that people don't know?
I would say my IQ. I think my IQ is what makes me most valuable at my size, and be able to handle the ball, and then having a high IQ definitely separates me from a lot of players.
Player IQ. Who would you say are your player comps?
Player comps. That's a tough one. I think I
I think like Jalen Williams, OKC, Jade from Santa Clara. So yeah, just a bigger guard, able to handle it, shoot it. A high IQ basketball player. Play multiple positions.
And you growing up, I'm sure you watch YouTube, you watch players. Like, which kind of players did you watch the most?
Growing up, obviously with my name Kobe, I watched a lot of Kobe. But just watching the sprinkle of everything. I was actually a shorter guard growing up, so I was only 5'8" going into high school. So I liked Marcus Page, Ty Lawson. So I was a UNC fan. So yeah.
Oh, okay. So you had to like which player do you think you take the most out of for your own game?
Currently, I think I watch a lot of Shea, D Book, KD just working in the mid range, creating space, using angles as bigger guards, and just getting to the spot and being able to raise over anybody.
Last one here. Do you know any NBA players, and like what, if you do, or what piece of advice have they given you that's really kind of helped you get through your journey?
Yeah, so Zaire Williams and Miles Norris, I've talked to both of them, and they just told me be myself. I think they told me enjoy every moment of it. You're going to have your ups and downs, and everybody's past different, so just enjoy every moment of it, be yourself, and everything's going to work out if God wills it.
With Zaire, like he had a struggling to get minutes and everything, and then now he had a role now with Brooklyn. Like, did he tell you just kind of have to be patient, or what did he tell you?
Yeah, most definitely. Like I said, he told me like everybody's past different, so just stay grounded, stay your course, and if God wills it, God's gonna put you in position. So just keep grinding.
Appreciate it. Just wanted to ask you being here at the Khaman, what are you trying to prove?
Just trying to prove that I can play at the next level after college, which is the NBA. I'm going to prove that I'm a defensive guard that can score the ball, that can also get my teammates involved. So just trying to showcase a little bit of everything.
What would you say you need to improve on the most in your game?
Finishing around the rim, as far as like acrobatic finishing, and like ball handling. That's what I would say.
What would you say is the most underrated thing about you that people don't know about?
The most underrated thing that people don't know about?
Probably
my defense. Yeah, probably my on-ball defense. Like, I'm really good playing in the gaps and all that. So I'm just trying to showcase, like I said, that I can play on-ball defense to keep the ball in front of me.
And you just being here, that now you face your competition, is this what about you expected, or is this do you feel like I belong here, like my confidence has actually gone up since I've been here playing against these guys? Like, what is it? What are you talking about?
I feel like I belong. My confidence is always at an all-time high, and then I just try to stay where my feet are day by day, and I feel like so far I've been doing pretty good. So my confidence is only going to continue to raise.
Who would you say are your player comps?
Davion Mitchell, Darius Garland a little bit. I would say those two.
Like maybe Casey Wallace?
I've heard Casey Wallace before, yeah. I've heard Casey Wallace. I've heard Tyrese Maxey all the time. Okay. Yeah, but I try to stay. I try to just keep a few players in mind, honestly.
When you growing up, I'm sure you watch YouTube and like videos of players. Like, who would you say you marred your game after, and like who did you watch the most?
I watched a lot of players. My favorite player is Kyrie, so I watch him a lot. I watch Fred VanVleet a lot. Like I said, Darius Garland, Tyrese Maxey, Davion Mitchell, guards like that.
Last one. Do you know any NBA players, and like what kind of advice have they given you?
I'm sorry, one more time?
Like, do you, like NBA players, like what advice have they given you in your journeys?
Oh, yeah. Whenever I see an NBA player, I usually try to talk to them, just ask for some advice, and, they just always tell me that I've been training my whole life for this, so it's nothing to be worried about. Just take it one day at a time and just enjoy the process.
Was there an NBA player that, for you, was, like, really resonated with what they told you?
Victor Oladipo. Okay. I would say we had met a few weeks back, and he just kind of told me that, I'm one in a billion people in this world that actually get to do what they want to. So I would probably say Victor Oladipo.
Appreciate it, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
You need me to hold this? I mean, if you want, it doesn't matter. I'll pick you up, bro. First off, you were part of Leonard Hamilton's last year. His swan song, you could say. I know it didn't end the way you guys wanted, but what was it like playing for a legend of a coach like that?
I truly think it was a blessing, just being able to, be coached by somebody that's put a lot of guys in the league, that's helped a lot of guys off the floor as well, as far as like graduating. I think it's a blessing for us.
And how have you grown as a player over the past year?
I think first and foremost, I think my confidence has definitely, built, with the role that Coach Hamilton put me in. I think my confidence has built, a lot. I think off the floor, I gained a lot, especially graduating. That was a big accomplishment for me, being the first in my family to graduate. So I think that was big for me.
Hey, congrats, bro.
Appreciate it.
So for you, what's an underrated or overlooked skill that you think people need to take notice?
I would say about passing. Me just being able to make quick decisions, obviously not being the primary ball handler, but being the secondary. I think I'm a good passer. I get a lot of guys, involved.
When you're watching film, who are you watching and what are you trying to take from them?
I think I could watch a lot of guys for with me being like a two-way player. I think I watch a lot of guys offensively and defensively. Defensively, I like to watch like Drew Holiday, the Jaden McDaniels, as far as like defensively. Offensively, I like to watch like Karis LeVert, a lot of 3-and-D role guys.
So you see yourself more of a 2, a 3, or a swing man?
I think both 2 and 3, so swing, definitely.
And if someone asks you, give me a pro comp for yourself, what would it be?
Pro comp? I think what I've been hearing a lot prior to Karis LeVert one. That's probably similar to what I think I got a little bit more on him with the defensive. Defensively, me being taller, more lengthier.
And this past year at FSU, you were kind of a guy who was like, one of the older guys. Do you think that's going to give you an advantage going into the NBA with all the reps you already have?
Yeah, I think me just being a little bit more mature. I think I'm stepping into like a position where as though I could be a fast plug and play guy, someone that can earn a lot of trust quick because of my age and all the experience that I had before. So I think it's going to be easy for me to be a plug and play on any team.
And what teams have you worked out with?
I haven't worked out with any teams yet.
Do you have any planned?
Yeah, probably after the draft, work out with like Phoenix, the Warriors, a bunch of other teams.
Sweet. Last question, man. Who's your GOAT and why?
Who's my GOAT? My GOAT, basketball-wise, I would say KD. Him just being who he is, 7-foot guards, not too many of those. And he's my favorite player, bro. So
Sweet.
Definitely KD.
So I assume you were choosing KD in the KD-LeBron debates.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I appreciate it, Doug. Hey, can't wait to be watching it.
Appreciate it.
Just a couple questions here. Just being here at the Combine, what would you say you're trying to prove to me?
Prove the most that I'm able to stretch the floor and able to impact the NBA team on a lot of different ways, even other than scoring. So I'm gonna say mostly being able to space the floor.
You being out here, are you surprised with the level of talent here, or do you feel like you fit right in?
I feel like I fit right in. I feel like the level of talent here is good to have high level talent that you can go ahead and compete iron sharp as iron. So just being out here with high level talent and being able to fit in with these guys, man, it's been great competition.
Outside of the weight room, what would you say you need to improve on the most?
Outside of the weight room, improve on the most. Probably just handle work, being able to just get a tighter handle. I'll say that for sure.
And what would you say is the most underrated thing about you that people don't know about?
Underrated thing about, I'll say my shooting, for sure. I think a lot of people sometimes don't see me as being able to knock down shots, but coming off 2 seasons of shooting 40% from the three, I'm going to say shooting, 3-point shooting for sure.
And who would you say are your player comps?
I would say like a PJ Washington, a Jonathan Kuminga, guys who are able to space the floor and get out of transition and impact the game in a whole lot of different ways.
When you growing up, I'm sure you watch YouTube, but what kind of players did you watch?
I watched a lot of Kobe, I watched Bron, I used to watch a lot of Paul George. When I was younger, I watched a lot of Kyrie. I wasn't as tall. and I think that's about it.
That's about it. And last one here, in terms of, I don't know if you know any like NBA players. Like, has anyone given you like advice at all?
I would say when Trae Young and Buddy Hill came to Oklahoma, they gave me advice. It's just kind of like your body. When it comes to your body, that it's not always going to be 100%. It's kind of more of a mental thing, and being able to push through those hard times.
In terms of the mental aspect, do you feel like when you were younger you didn't really understand what they meant by that, but as you got older and you played more, you feel like, oh wow.
I agree for sure, because I mean, every day ain't gonna be a good day. It's just you got to be consistent and be strong enough mentally to be able to do it again.
Okay, appreciate it.
Thank you.
¿Qué fue todo en Australia?
Bien, la verdad, ha sido una experiencia nueva y creo que me ha venido bien y he mejorado, o sea que creo que es una buena experiencia.
Ah, qué lindo. Vamos a hablar ahora inglés, ¿está bien? Ah, perfecto. What was it like to have Jesse Wagstaff and, a vet like that on Perth?
I mean, it's cool, he's played like a long time in Perth, he's an LBN champion multiple times, so you learn a lot of him, how he works and how he stays, healthy to play at that age.
Legend. The guy's been there for, 20 years, it feels like.
Yeah, definitely he's a legend, yeah.
And how much different was it going to Australia than playing in the G League last year?
Yeah, I mean, it was a different environment, In Australia, it was like more people came to watch the games, more people were supporting you, compared with the G League, which is like more for like improvements and just work on your game and get reps, So I would say that was the difference, but I really like both experiences.
What did you think you grew the most over the last year?
I would say probably my shooting. I mean, I have more confidence. I feel that I have a better form and better release. So I think that definitely my shooting.
And being a part, of Spanish basketball, you guys have all the talent coming in the world. How cool is it to be a Spaniard playing in what might become the golden age of Spanish basketball?
Yeah, I mean, it's great to be a Spanish player. We have great players, great national team, great coaches, great young players. So I feel that I'm glad that I'm Spanish, and I get to play for the national team.
And when you're watching film, who are some guys you're watching and what are you trying to take from them?
I mean, some of the guys that I like, of course, are Jokic. I like his passing. Of course, I like everything, but mostly his passing. And I also like to watch Brandon Davis from Partizan. I like his versatility and everything he does on the floor. I think I can take a little bit from him, yeah.
Brandon Davis is a good one.
Yeah.
6'8", 6'9".
Yeah, he can do everything. Yeah. I like
loaded, too.
Yeah, he can shoot, do everything, yeah.
So who's your pro comp if you had to give yourself one?
I don't know. I mean, maybe Al Horford when he was like young, Probably him, yeah.
That's a good one, man. I can see it too.
When he was young, yeah.
All you gotta do is shave the head now.
Maybe one day, who knows? Yeah.
And for you, what's an overlooked or underrated skill people need to take notice of?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if people notice it, but I'll say probably my playmaking. I mean, I think that I can make plays for me or others, and I feel that, yeah.
Sweet. And who's your GOAT and why?
My GOAT? Probably LeBron, because that's who I grew up watching, So, yeah.
And who's the GOAT of Spanish basketball?
Pau Gasol, no doubt.
Oh, no Sergio Yul?
For me, Pau Gasol. He was a great player, too.
Hey, best of luck, bro. Always a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you.
It's the best again.
Hey, Hunter.
How you doing?
Just got one question for you. Teams sometimes in interviews ask you what your NBA comp for yourself is. If you were to ask that question, who's your comp for yourself in the league?
I say, Tim Hardaway Jr. I say Alexander Walker. He's a good one, just how he defends. I like DiVincenzo. There's a lot of guys I feel like I try to take little pieces of their games and stuff for sure. But I don't think I play like a certain someone, but definitely there's flashes for sure.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Hey, Hunter.
My guy.
Talked to you last year, man. What's it been like from 1 year to now?
Yeah. It's been huge. I feel like it's been a big jump. Just type of swagger I'm having, confidence I'm having. Definitely just going through this process once already. It definitely gives you a lot of confidence boost for sure.
And over the year, how do you think you've grown?
I think defensively I've really improved. I think just my ability to play make has been good as well, and I just think my ability to be a leader has been good as well.
And if somebody asks you what film you're watching and which players you're trying to take away from, who are they?
SGA, for sure. He's a guy that I watch a lot, just how he can get to his shot, how he can, create space and rise up over guys. Alexander Walker from Minnesota. He's another guy that I watch a lot. Andrew Nembhard, I watch him a lot as well. Just, he's always playing at his own pace, real in control of the basketball game. So there's a lot of different guys who I, pick different pieces apart for sure.
Good group of guys to steal stuff from.
Definitely.
And I heard at first you gave your pro comps right there at the beginning. But what's an overlooked or underrated skill that you think people need to notice?
I think I'm really good defensively. I'm long, athletic. So I think at the next level, I feel like that'll be where I start for sure. But definitely, I think I can knock down shots too as well. And I just play with a motor. So I think that's a good piece of my game.
And for you, when you play basketball, what's the natural position for you? Because I swear, you play point guard, you play shooting guard, then you'll be out on the wing, playing like swingman. So where do you feel at home?
I think naturally I'm more of a shooting guard for sure, but I feel like I'm really good with the ball in my hands as well. I feel like I can guard 1 through 3. So there's no telling for. I think a team could just put me out there and I'll figure it out.
And what teams have you worked out with?
I've worked out with Charlotte and Brooklyn.
Nice. And my last question, man, is
So Grant, you with the Khaman being here, like what would you say you're trying to improve the most?
Just that I know how to play basketball the right way, and that I'm just doing whatever it takes to help a team win, whatever team that is. And I'm kind of just trying to show that like I could be on the floor and be a player of value just off of how I rebound, push the ball up the floor, set screens, like all the stuff like that.
You transferring in college like once or twice. What did you learn most from that? Being in different situations and being able to adapt and things like that.
Yeah, there's definitely a skill gap in like athleticism from mid-major to high major. So I feel like a lot that I learned was like the physicality of it, and then transferring to a school like Alabama, I think that taught me a lot about the game of basketball, like how to play the right way.
And outside of the weight room, what would you say you're trying to improve on the most?
I'd say, I don't know. I think just being an all-around guy, like being consistent, crashing the glass. I feel like that's something I really have to work on, crashing the old glass every single time.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, obviously my three-point shooting needs some work, and then just defending every position.
What would you say is the most underrated thing about you that people don't know about? I don't know. People don't know about. I feel like a lot of people know my game, so I don't know. Nothing in particular that you maybe something off the court that maybe.
Off the court. I love the golf. It's probably my favorite thing to do off the court.
Who would you say are your player comps?
I've been told like Lauri Markkanen, but
you don't see it.
I see parts of it, but he's a better shooter. He's a great player. So it's tough. It's tough to compare with really anyone.
I'm sure you watch YouTube growing up, but what kind of players did you watch, and which players did you kind of take what they were good at and integrate into part of your game?
I'd say like I used to watch a lot of Russell Westbrook, but I don't really see like much of that. Maybe how I like attack the rim and try to dunk on people, but like that was probably my favorite player growing up for like the longest time. So I've watched a lot of that. That's probably where like I just try to dunk on people. But I used to just watch like all kinds of Balls Life mixtapes, like really anything. Like I watch everything that all the kids used to watch. So it's just taken from everybody, and then a lot of it's like I never grew up with a basketball trainer until really when I got to Alabama is when I started working with like a real trainer. So it's kind of like I just
just like learned it
You just kind of
myself.
learned yourself, and taught yourself in a way. Was there any particular basketball player you feel like you took the most from to be part of your game?
Not that I could think of. I mean, I don't know. It's just me and my brother at the park playing like every day. So I don't know.
Okay. All right, appreciate it, man.
But everybody has a decision to make. Everybody's in a little bit similar, but not everybody's in the exact same position. So, but yeah, we talked about it a little bit.
So what are you looking to hear at the combine this week? What are you hoping to hear?
I mean, hopefully good stuff.
Yeah. I mean, specifically, like, what are you
going in the lottery?
Yeah, you're going to be the number 2 pick.
That'd be cool. But nothing specific. Just trying to see if the feedback's good. I'm gonna take it up until the deadline to figure out whether I want to go or stay. So just continue to hear stuff with here, and then workouts after this, and talk to my team, and we'll decide.
Have you had meetings yet with teams since you've been here?
Nah, I start tomorrow.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, what is that like?
You, when you're watching the game, what's my apologies, that was a weird way of phrasing that. For you, when you're watching tape, who's somebody and why are you watching them?
I like LeBron, obviously, but I like watching Jalen Williams just because they like doing the stuff that not everybody likes to do.
And we're talking about J-Dub, not J-Dub.
Yeah, J-Dub. Just because they affect winning without necessarily having the ball in their hands or without scoring all the time. So that's the type of guys I like to watch.
And if someone had to ask you, what's your pro comp, what would you give them?
Shoot. I don't know. I get asked that a lot. I really don't know. So hopefully, shoot, somebody good. Somebody that had a good career.
What's the skills you think you can bring to a team day one?
Just being versatile, being able to shoot, pass, defend, rebound. Just I feel like I can fit any role, and that's one main thing I want the scouts and everybody to know is like I don't have an ego when it comes to basketball. Like I'm just trying to win. And whatever you need me to do, I'm willing to do it.
And you're sort of like an enigma in terms of like your position. Yeah. What is your position if somebody had to ask you what you feel natural?
Just a basketball player. I don't feel like I got a position.
Yeah. That's a good answer, but you feel more at home, in the front court or more of a wing?
Probably the wing, just because I like to pass the ball and I can shoot it. So probably the wing if I had to pick.
And if somebody asks you what's an overlooked or underrated skill that they should notice, what's that skill?
I think my playmaking, I haven't been able to show it as much as I probably want at the college level, but I think they know, but I feel like it's a little still underrated.
With that. And so far, what's been kind of like the coolest experience while you've been here?
Coolest experience? Well, my first workout was with the Kings, and I'm from SAC, so it was cool to have the first workout like with the Kings jersey on.
Full circle moment.
Yeah, so that was probably the coolest moment.
And what are the other teams you worked out with?
Then Milwaukee and the Nets, Brooklyn.
Yeah, you got openings in all of them.
Yeah. I know.
Best of luck, bro.
I appreciate it.
No problem, man.
Thank you.
Just a couple questions here. What would you say you being here at the combine you're trying to prove?
I'm trying to prove that I can just defend at a high level and that I'm a competitor at a high level.
And being here now, seeing the level of talent around you, are you surprised or you feel like I belong here?
No, I'm not surprised at all. I feel like I belong here. Trying to find a way to stand out. And just trying to have fun and taking the moment. It's a fun week. It's a fun week playing with different players, playing with high-level players, and it's fun.
What would you say is the most underrated thing about you that people don't know about?
Probably just that I'm super competitive. Probably that I'm super competitive. It's hard to read with my body language or my demeanor, but super competitive.
But you feel like people don't know that about you? If you see you on the court, super into it?
Because some people just misread you, or it doesn't look like other people. You don't show it like other people. So, that passion for the game can be shown in many different ways, but I'm one of those people who are high-level competitors.
Outside of working out, what would you say is something that you need to improve on the most?
Outside of working out?
Yeah, I don't like to ask people about working out because people usually like to say, I need to work out more kind of thing. So I would say not working out not included. Like, what would you say parts of your game you feel like you need to improve on the most?
Probably just my reaction time, my quickness, my lateral quickness, or maybe even just film study more. Helps you break down the game, help you think the game more. and it'll show up in little ways.
In terms of what you said about lateral, like what do you feel like you've been doing to help you improve on that?
You know, really just locking in, and it's not the fact that I can do it; it's just the fact that I show it and I don't show it. Or that's how I do it in the past. It's more about just being consistent with it.
Is it kind of like a muscle memory thing? Like
muscle memory, staying locked in, and just staying ready at all times. Not standing up, not getting relaxed, not watching the ball, things like that. Just staying locked in.
Who would you say are your player comps?
Player comp. I would say on the high end would be Jaylen Brown. Who's the guy? I forgot on the Celtics. I forgot his name. Celtics, yeah. Derek White was his name. Who else would I say? Really, it can be anybody who can play both ways, knock down shots, and also be a secondary ball handler.
Is there anything to do? Like Derek White had a very unusual path to the NBA, like where he came up from Colorado State and everything. Do you see that and you feel like I can kind of duplicate that for my own sake?
I definitely see a little bit of our stories having a little bit of similarity, but also it's just about the hard work and the dedication and staying ready for the moment, being ready when your name is called, things of that nature.
Growing up, I'm sure you watch YouTube, but what kind of players did you watch a lot of, and which players did you take the most for your own game?
Kevin Durant, I really liked him growing up. I thought I'd be a little bit taller than what I am. LeBron, I grew to love his game. Paul George, grew to love his game. Brandon Ingram was my favorite player right now, coming out of Duke. So, you know, I kind of just grew up watching those guys. I didn't really, grow up watching Jordan or, you know, Penny or anything like that. But those are the guys I like the most.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I just want to give a big shout out to everyone back in Perth. You know, I hope I'm doing everyone proud. My family, my friends, you know, everyone in Perth. Hopefully, I can get drafted and continue this experience. You know, it's an unbelievable week so far. I'm super thankful for being in this position. And yeah, you know, my family and friends back home, I wouldn't be able to do this if it wasn't for you. So yeah, I appreciate you guys.
Thank you, Ben.
Thank you.
Hey, Ben, did you play footy growing up?
I did play footy, yeah.
You were a ruckman?
I was small when I was younger. I was like 5'7" when I played.
Damn, so what position you play?
I played in the midfield, played a bit of centre half forward. I think if I played right now, I'll play in the ruck though, for sure.
Of course, with that size, you know, being able to put the ball on the ground. So, do you think footy helps translate into basketball?
I think so, for sure. I mean, just that toughness side, you know, being okay with getting hit. I feel like, you know, everything in footy is running and changing directions and jumping off 1 foot. You know, I'm a 1 foot jumper because I feel like I played footy growing up. So, yeah, I think it definitely helps with, you know, agility, speed, all that kind of stuff.
When you're watching film, who are some guys you're watching and what are you trying to take from them?
I watch a lot of SGA, Tyler Hero, you know, just the way they operate ball screens, you know, the way they can score the ball in 3 different ways: on the rim, at the basket, in the mid-range, at the 3. Yeah, I feel like, you know, and how SGA changes his pace in the mid-range, you know, gets to the rim. I feel like those guys are people I can, you know, learn a lot from and put into my game.
To follow that up, if someone asked you to give yourself a pro comp, who would it be?
I'd say Tyler Hero.
Yeah, good one.
I'd be interested in your lifetime, obviously, the game. You know, the game was there in Australia, right, for a long time, but just the presence it has in the NBA now, you know, how big of a deal is that to kind of see more and more talent come from Australia and get to the NBA, and kind of how has that affected guys like you at your age?
Yeah, no, it's been great. You know, basketball's in Australia it's growing every single year. You know.
Hey Alex, who's some guys you're watching on film when you're watching tape, and what are you trying to take from them?
Yeah, I think Bojan Bogdanovic, kind of a big wing, and how he can screen and pop and make plays in the off-on balls and great for his teammates. I think that's one. And honestly, Josh Giddey being a big point guard, and obviously I'm not a point guard, but how he can play in transition and find his teammates and set screens and roll and do what he can with that. And then I like watching Luka and his footwork in the paint, and it's not always a layup, but that floater game and then his mid-range and counters, I think, are probably the biggest ones I look at.
When growing up, did you play footy?
I didn't play footy, I played cricket.
Really? I knew your dad was a cricket player. So what led you going down the basketball route besides, growing tall instead of the cricket route?
Yeah, I think my brother started playing, and then everyone wants to beat their siblings up, so I stuck with that, and then a lot of tears were shed in the backyard, and eventually said, screw it, I'm going to try and get as good at this as I can, and yeah, stuck with it. But cricket was my first love, and then basketball kind of took over, and now it's my life.
Is there anything from cricket that has translated into basketball that you're like, damn, I didn't think this was going to help me, but it kind of does?
I think being a good teammate, it's kind of like baseball where there's a lot of time where you're with your teammates and finding ways to interact with them. And, I think it's just a finite skill as well, bowling, where you can move the ball in different ways. And you're obviously not a cricket fan, so I won't go too in depth, but I think just, any sport translates to every other sport. So I think, just overall, I feel like cricket definitely helped me.
If you had to give yourself a pro comp, who would you give?
Probably Bogdanovich. I like him, and then also like Grady Dick as well. So probably a hybrid of those two.
So you're more of a wing, you think, or more of a forward?
Yeah, I think more of a wing. I think my on-ball game, coming off on balls and creating for my teammates, is probably an undershown area of mine, and I think that's something that I'm definitely capable of.
You worked out for the Bucks.
Yeah.
It was like last week or something.
Yeah, last week.
How did that go?
It was good. Yeah, great experience. I feel like it was a good workout, and seeing how much they love their basketball there, and hearing about what basketball means to Milwaukee was definitely cool. And then, just showing off my skill.
So you get some good feelings about it.
I mean, you always want to hope so, but
yeah.
Hard to gauge. It's a nice city.
Have you worked out with some other teams too?
Yeah, I worked out with Phoenix and Brooklyn as well.
Alex, for you, who's your GOAT being, from Australia, having this cricket background?
Thank you. Like, as a basketball person or a cricket person or anyone?
Anyone, I like that.
Anyone. Michael Clark. He's a cricket player, he's famous. He was young and he was a great player, and he's a legend in Australia, so that's my go.
Sweet. I'm definitely going to have to Google Michael Clark.
Yeah.
I will do.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate that. To show off the interview, man.
Hey, Alex. Do you share some of the takeaways you have so far in this event?
Yeah, I just think it's been a great experience just getting out here in the city of Chicago and meeting all these highly ranked prospects. I mean, it's just been a great experience so far, and I got to do the combine and test and stuff yesterday, which was a good time as well. So looking forward to seeing the guys play today too.
You have a great season with the Gators. We win the championship. Great game with the championship as well. I know you did a lot of pre-workouts in LA before you came here. Can you explain how this process helped prepares you for this journey?
Yeah, I just think that I had a really good year at college, and it prepared me well for this year, for the combine and the next level too. So just looking forward to getting out here and just show what I can do and prove that I'm ready for the next level.
Can you share a little bit of your, when you declare for drafts, can you tell us what goes through your mind and why you make that decision right now?
Yeah, I just think I had a good enough year to get out here and show these guys what I can do. And I just think I'm ready for the NBA. I'm ready to go to that next level and really show my skill set. I think I'm ready to play the powerful position as well, and expand my game to more of a perimeter style play.
What asset do you think you can bring to the NBA team when you get drafted?
I think just my toughness and my motor and my overall defensive and just effort mindset that I have. I think a lot of teams need guys who can kind of pick up the pieces, and I don't really care what my role is going to be. I just care about winning games and helping a team win.
You have there's a lot of Australian players currently in the NBA. How excited are you, be able to play with them at one point?
Yeah, it's going to be great. Johnny Furphy, is a roommate of mine at the Australian Institute of Sport. So just seeing, guys like Josh Giddey, Dyson Daniels take a huge step this year is pretty unbelievable. And we're looking forward to the next step.
Is there a particular NBA player you want to play with or play against with?
I watch Alper Sengun, Isaiah Hartenstein a lot. So getting into the league and matching up against those guys is going to be a pretty cool next step for me.
Do you have a pro comp or somebody that you see yourself sort of like?
Yeah, those two guys for sure, Alperen and Isaiah. They have really good touch games, and kind of how they pass the ball and distribute the guy to the smaller guys as well is something they do really well, and I try and model my game after.
Like other Australian players, were you a ruckman if you played footy?
Yeah, I played ruck and went up forward a little bit too to just kick some goals, and the ruck position, you've got to be able to run really well and get up and down the field well, so that's something I try and bring to my basketball too.
You think that's something that's helped a lot of like yourself, other Australian players to be good at basketball with that physicality and that multi-skill set?
I think definitely, yeah. Johnny used to play football too, so just bring that toughness, and you're not scared of any contact or physicality when you come out and play basketball. So I think it's actually a lot of physicality, but just bringing that to basketball is something I try and do a lot.
Door open to go back to Florida, or is that closed?
To Florida?
Yeah.
My mindset is I'm here now, and I want to be in the NBA for sure.
What do you need to hear from NBA teams?
What are you weighing, or your decision to go back or stay in the draft?
Yeah, so my decision right now, I'm 100% on the draft. Like, I think talking to Coach Shire and the staff, they've agreed with me in terms of making sure I can focus solely on the draft. Because at the end of the day, this is my dream, to make the NBA. Just like they got 5 other Duke guys here. You know what I mean? And so that to answer that question, and then like the feedback from teams, I think it's been well. I think what I've heard from not only the teams this morning, but also from my agent, is that I performed well at the combine. The film they watched, I performed well. Obviously, there's stuff to work on, with my game, and it's all around stuff, because I'm not yet an NBA player, but when I do become an NBA player, that's where you really, kick things into gear. And then honestly, for me, it's just making sure that I'm just being myself in these interviews. Being myself, like, I'm not going to change for nobody. If you like me for me, you're going to get the full me. You're going to get the full Cedric experience, and even you guys talking to me, like, I'm not going to change. I'm not up here talking like a businessman. I'm talking like myself. That's who I am, and I appreciate it.
Just to clarify, when you say you're 100% in the draft, is that you're 100% focusing on the draft, or you're 100% in the draft, no chance of going back?
100% focusing on the draft.
Okay. Is there a chance still that you might go back to Duke?
It depends. It really depends what I hear. At the end of the day, what I hear is based off of the information, or the decision I'm going to make is based off the information I get. And right now, the information is definitely leaning towards staying in the draft, and I can say that. But at the end of the day, we got to figure out the best decision to make for myself and the best decision to make for my family as I go forward.
Is there a threshold that you feel like, okay, if I'm hearing that I'm going to get picked above pick X, I'll stay in the draft?
Not really. I don't really have like a threshold, I guess. Like, there's definitely a range everybody would like to go, and like everybody would love to go top 20. That would be great. And if I heard that, like, obviously. But at the end of the day, the draft is so unpredictable. You don't know, like Dalton Connect was projected top 10 and then went 17. You know what I mean? So it's like you don't know what could happen. But at the end of the day, for me, it's more of less the spot in terms of the number and more of the spot in terms of the team I go to and how I can make an impact right away and how they see my game fitting within their system.
What was a game from this past season that you feel like best shows who you are as a player?
Eastern Washington game. I think that was my final game before I got hurt, and I think I put it all out there. I think I had like 22 points, 9 boards, and 7 assists, showing the all-around game. And honestly, it was just showing the comfort I was able to, go, because I know the game before that, Northern Colorado, I had 30 points, but I only had like 2 rebounds. You know what I mean? And then the game before.
That's very unique. And then like a team ain't gonna draft like me and Jokic together, just like a scenario, like me and people that got the same similarities. But yeah, so like hopefully playing with like an inside out big, and then just like hopefully doing the things like I'm using Jokic as an example because he's doing the NBA and killing it in there. So just Jokic.
Cool, man. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks.
defensive versatility
Yeah.
was what stood out, and he ended up being a first-round pick. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah. And then I think Amin Thompson is
Okay.
someone mentioned to me. There's a player like that.
What teams did you meet with today?
I met with the Bucks, Lakers, Wizards, Rockets. I met with the Grizzlies, and yeah, I think just
How are you on your decision process? Is there any chance you go back to Carolina, or are you all in on it?
all in on the draft. Yeah.
Is the door closed on a return?
The door is closed. Yes.
What was Hubert Davis' reaction when you kind of told him your final decision?
Yeah, Hubert Davis has been very supportive during this process, and I'm glad that he has, especially I've known him for a long time, and we've built our relationship up, and he's just happy for me.
When you're watching film, who are you watching and what are you trying to take from them?
So I watch a collection of guys, but the main two are mainly Drew Holiday and Devin Booker. And I just like Drew's Holiday overall approach to the game, not just the defensive side, but the offensive side as well. And then with Devin Booker, he's not the fastest guy in the world, but he's able to, manipulate defenses and get to his spot and rise up.
If you had to give yourself a pro comp, who would it be?
I don't know. I wouldn't say that I have a pro comp, but I just try to take bits and pieces from the players that I watch, like the two that I mentioned, and just trying to add like my own sauce onto it.
And you tested incredible at the combine. I bet you knew you were going to do good, but what is something you think scouts have overlooked or is underrated in your game that people need to take notice?
Possibly the offensive side, I think so, and just the two-way presence that I can bring. And I didn't get to fully showcase that at UNC, given the team that we had. But yeah, I just wanted to do what the coach was asked of me, and to the best of my ability.
Thanks. That's all, bro.
Yeah, thank you.
What is it about your offensive game that you feel like? How you doing, guys?
Good. You enjoying the week so far?
Oh yeah.
That's good to hear. Obviously, whether you're playing or not, what were you trying to prove to scouts here?
I was trying to prove that I'm a good basketball player. I think as everybody who's participating in this event. Probably the main question that scouts were questioning me is the shooting, and it was a goal for me to shoot well, show them that I'm a capable shooter.
For you, when you're watching film, who are some guys you're trying to take things from?
Yeah, I have several guys I'm looking at the most, but it's more of just taking pieces from as many players as I can, just having the most efficient things for my game, for my style of the game. Right now I'm studying a lot of Kate Cunningham, Franz Wagner, obviously Luca Shea, which is a little more basic, I guess, and Danny Avdia. Those three is probably more specific to me: Kate Cunningham, Franz Wagner, and Danny Avdia.
Have you met with specific teams so far, or do you have plans to meet with specific teams after the combine?
We just had meetings over here for all the players. Yeah, I've met with some teams already.
Was one of those teams the Wizards?
Yes.
What about the Bulls? Are the Bulls one of those teams?
They weren't today. I think they might be tomorrow or day after tomorrow. Yeah.
I'll just ask you to list them. What teams did you meet with?
Right. Can I speak about it? I don't know.
Yeah, you can.
I've met with the Atlanta, Sacramento, Washington, Brooklyn, and Oklahoma.
How did your meeting with Washington go? What did you discuss?
It was good. They asked me questions. They, asked me a lot of details. How am I, who I am as a player? How am I seeing myself? Am I seeing myself only on the point guard position, or what is it all about, right? And they gave me a chance to ask them the questions that I want to know from them.
You talk about improving your shooting. What aspects of your game do you think that are underrated that will be able to surprise some people at the next level?
Yes. Good for me that a lot of people who work in front offices, they understand that I am a capable shooter, and there's no problem with that. It's just a question of details and the time, and it's going to be there.
What's your pro comparison if you had to give yourself one?
Sorry?
Pro comparison.
with one exact player.
Any player or somebody you think you're most like because you're so unique?
I think from NBA, obviously, I think you guys would compare me with Luka, which it's pretty obvious. The big guards, passing idea, but again, obviously, Luka is Luka, Egor is Egor, in a good way of these words, and I'm not trying to be like somebody exactly. As I said before, I'm just trying to get pieces from different players and different personalities to build my own kind of like project of where I'm seeing myself in the future.
How did your experience in Spain prepare you? And what's kind of your take on it, your opinion on it?
I mean, NIL is a wonderful thing. It's a blessing, allowing college players to have money to provide for their family, to take care of themselves, and learn how to manage it, before they get their real checks in the NBA.
Here, what are you trying to show scouts, whether you're playing or not, during the testing stuff? What did you want to prove?
I want to prove that I'm a good player, a good person. They already know me as a player. I think showcasing that, I'm a good locker room guy. And then on the shooting, show my athleticism a little bit, showcasing my perimeter shots. Mainly, just talking to them, let them meet them, and kind of go from there.
And when you watch film, are there any certain players or guys that you like to watch and take things from?
Yes. I mean, I'm a student of the game. I love basketball, so I watch a lot of different players. From obviously you got guys like Jokic and Embiid, Karl Anthony Towns, how he's able to shoot the basketball. I watch guys like Julius Randle, he's a lefty, he's strong, uses his body very well. Nas Reed, from how he came into the league to where he at now, I think he changed his game completely, fit the NBA. And now he's one of the best six men there is in the game. So I watch out the game, I watch out the basketball.
If you had to give yourself a pro comp, what would that be?
I'll probably say one of those guys is somewhere that I would want to get to, like a Nas Reed or a Julius Randle, who I can see myself being like in the league later in my career.
What was key for you making the transfer that you did to Auburn in order to kind of, when you're going up to there, what allowed you to kind of, I guess, excel there after making the transition that you did?
Transition to the SEC was very difficult. Obviously, it's a lot of strong, physical, athletic guys. So I think, understanding that I had to get in the gym, I had to get in the weight room, I had to get faster, I had to get quicker, I had to get stronger. I think that was the biggest first jump. And then, kind of taking what I had already and just adding more to it by adding the outside shot and, adding the little small things to my game versus whether that's playmaking or defending.
It's not play. Just his consistency, his form, it's perfect. And then I talked a little bit about Jimmy Butler. I like watching how he plays in the lane with patience. He's a shot fakes, he's a pivots.
What's the main area of growth I think you're looking to improve on the court throughout the draft process and into the beginning of your game?
Yeah, shooting off the dribble and also creativity around the rim. And then there's always room for improvement on defense.
You have to describe your mentality to an NBA front office, what you're going to bring in the locker room, what you're going to bring on the court, and what would you say?
It's a competitive guy that wants to win. I think that's most important. You want guys that want to play and want to compete at the highest level.
Khaman, I don't know if anybody's asked you this, but what's some film you're watching, what guys are you watching, and what are you trying to take from them?
You just asked that.
Oh, my fault. I can't hear from here. What's up?
Butler and play time.
Thank you.
Yeah.
What's to go off of that then? What's an overlooked or an underrated skill that you think people need to take notice of?
I think just how much I did in the ball screen pick and roll handling this year. I can be an efficient player there and be a secondary ball handler for a team.
And for you, obviously, this thing, being a white guy, you're going to be hunted on defense. You're someone who seems to pride themselves on defense. What's that shit for you?
Yeah, I mean, it just comes to being a competitive guy, and you want to get stops and not let the guy score on you. And sometimes that's what all it comes down to on that end. So I'll try to do that, hold my own on the next level.
The process has been like 4 years. I mean, the process has been great to me. been having fun, just been present and enjoy every minute of it.
I mean, come on, you're relatively new to basketball. I mean, 3 years ago, did you picture yourself sitting here and being participating in this a situation like this?
Nah, if you tell me just 3 years ago, I wouldn't. I wasn't seeing it, but I knew for sure one day I was gonna be here. But I didn't know it was gonna be in 3 years. If you asked you that 3 years ago,
What gave you that confidence even then that this was sort of something you could aspire to?
man, I've seen a couple of different stories. I've seen people with the same background as me when making it to the league. Obviously, Giannis, I always looked up to him and watched his journey and his story. So I knew, and the people around me too, the people I had around me believed in me and pushed me to my best and always pushed me to get out of my comfort zone. So I saw the vision and they saw the vision and I believed in it.
What about Giannis's journey kind of resonated with you?
Just his story. He was born in Greece, and I mean, I watched his movie too again. But just his story, his background, coming from Greece and then coming to America. He didn't play no college basketball. He just played professional in Greece.
What was it like for you adapting to? Obviously, now you're probably comfortable here in America. But what was that? You talk about the journey. How did it shape you as a player, as a person?
I mean, it was just kind of hard, like coming to America, getting used to different culture, different food, and coming to a different place and meeting a whole lot of different people. But my teammates at Duke and my coaches and the Duke Brotherhood helped me a lot to navigate through that, and they helped me a lot, like to get comfortable, and they helped me with everything. So they made it easier for me. They made my transition easier.
What are you going to bring to it? What are you going to bring to whatever team you try to?
I mean, I'll bring my defensive upside as usual. I'll bring my defensive game. I help your team defensively.
Have you met with teams yet?
Yes.
Do it with the Bulls?
Yeah, I met with a lot of teams. I mean, I met with a couple of teams.
Also, how did the meetings go?
The meetings were great. It was more of like a conversation on getting to know me and me getting to know the teams.
How much has your shot improved from the time you've been at Duke, but then also going back to the Olympics and seeing more of your game on the perimeter with the exhibition of this team, you'll say, and also in the Olympics, but how much has your shot improved from that time?
I think my shot has improved a lot. It was kind of different. I had on the glove the whole season, so I kind of struggled. It kind of altered my shot. I didn't know where my shot was falling at the time. Sometimes I would shoot air balls because I just had the glove on and I wasn't having the same feeling of the ball. But as soon as I took it off, my shot became way better. And I think I always had the shot. It's just like sometimes I didn't know when to take the shot and when not to take the shot. But I'm learning and I'm learning through that every day. I know. I feel like my shot got a lot better.
Do you think that's an underrated part of your game going to the next level? Or if not, then what is the underrated part of your game when you get to the next?
I mean, probably my offensive game. I wasn't able to show it this year at school. But I believe I'll show it and I'll develop into a better role. And while I go pro, and I'll be able to showcase that.
What do you imagine that is? Like you're speaking to your offensive game back in the showcase and maybe in college. In the NBA, what do you feel like it could be that was maybe different from this year?
Probably putting me in a position where I'll be able to make decisions and decision making, whether it's out of the short roll or whether it's pick and pop. So I envision myself doing that and being able to make decisions out of the short roll.
At what age did you begin playing basketball, and how did that come?
I started playing basketball later, around 13, 14, and I just went to a camp and saw a lot of tall people, and I saw a lot of tall people happy, and I was like, this is where I belong. And I came back the next time I picked up a basketball.
So you just decided you were tall and that made sense for you to play basketball?
Yeah, just seeing a lot of tall people and just being
tall much?
No, I wasn't that tall by then, but 1 year later, one of the tallest.
I remember to Giannis when he was growing up, he used to play soccer. Did you play soccer too? And then did you get too tall at a point where it was like, well, I don't know if I have a position on the field anymore?
Yeah, I played soccer and then I stopped playing because I was kind of
Has he given you advice or just maybe worked out with him just to improve your game?
I mean, just like everybody else, like all the other big African names like Joachim Noah or Ian Mahimi or a lot of African Pops Bonsu, a lot of other African big names that played in the league, and Gogi Jang is also here too. Just like everybody else, I try to lean on all of them. I try to get knowledge from all of them, and I try to learn from every person.
There's some stuff going on politically, obviously, involving the Sudan. Have teams talked to you about it? Have you talked at all with government officials about the visa ban that happened?
Nah, I'm not really focused on that right now. I let my agency handle that. I let Clutch handle that. I let them handle that and focus on what's important to me and what's ahead of me. And it's the combine ahead of me, and I'm focused on that. So I don't really put any focus on that.
Is your family all back in Sudan?
Yeah, my family has always been in South Sudan.
South Sudan.
Yeah, my family has always been in Uganda.
Yeah, are you still in touch with Ulrich Shamsi at all?
Yeah, I mean, me and Ulrich Shamsi played at least 3 years at the academy, so we've stayed in contact since, and probably I'll hopefully get some time and get to ask him how his season went and what's his experience was like in the league.
Are there any other
Raptors academy for you? How important was the academy for you?
The academy was very important. They played a very big role in my development. They shaped me. They taught me how to play organized basketball because I went to the academy and it was like my first time really playing very, very organized basketball. They really shaped me on the basketball court, but they helped me off the basketball court because I left home at a very young age. I left home when I was 14, so I had to learn a lot of stuff. I had to learn how to be a man off the basketball court, and the academy helped me through all that.
If there's one thing about South Sudan you would let people know, what would you tell them?
It's a land of tall people. We have a lot of cattle. It's a lot of beautiful things out there people don't see on social media. So yeah.
Are there any NBA centers that you've studied, whether current or past, who you feel like you'd like to model your game after somewhat?
To me, I don't really watch like one person, like try to model my game after them. I watch a lot of different centers. I watch almost every center in the league and see what they're good at and take that piece and put all the pieces in one place.
Have you had a chance to meet with the Raptors yet?
I mean, I met with a couple of teams. I'll see my next schedule tomorrow and then meet more teams.
If you had to describe your mentality to an NBA team of what you're going to bring, what would you say?
Pardon?
If you had to describe your mentality to an NBA team, what you were going to bring to the locker room, what you're going to bring on the court, what would you say?
I mean, I'm going to bring energy as usual. I'm going to bring energy in the locker room, and I'm going to be a good locker room guy. I'll probably lead the team defensively and be a defensive anchor.
How did Basketball Without Borders help you get to this point?
Basketball Without Borders helped me a lot because I played with a lot of international people, especially Basketball Without Borders Africa. There's a lot of African talent that was brought in one place, and we all had to figure it out in a couple of days. And I got to make a lot of friends and a lot of people I met out there. I went to Basketball Without Borders Global, where I played a lot of different talents from Europe, Australia, Africa, and America.
How do you think you'd fit playing alongside another big man?
I mean, I don't know. I can't tell with that. It depends on what the team wants me to do and what role the team is going to give me. So I can't tell until I play with another big man.
Do you see yourself as a 5 only, or do you think yourself could play 4 or 5?
I think I'm going to be versatile enough to play both the positions, but it would depend on what the team wants me to do.
Are there things that you weren't able to show at Duke that you feel you have in your game that maybe can come out more in the NBA?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, yeah, because I still have a lot to work on. I have a lot of development, so I believe there's a lot like I haven't shown yet, and a lot I will develop in the NBA.
What are some of those things?
I mean, it's a lot of different stuff, whether it's the defensive positioning or being able to switch more, or maybe getting a couple more shots, or maybe generating offense, or maybe playing in the short roll or pick and pop.
Cooper said, I just want to ask, I've heard your name pronounced so many different ways. Can we finally get the correct way?
It's LeBaron Fallon.
That's what I thought. So, what are you trying to prove here, whether you're playing or not?
You know, just trying to prove that I can compete at the highest level, you know, being an NBA guard and just, you know, show teams that I can really shoot it and, you know, be able to play on the ball and off.
When you're watching film, is there any certain guys you're trying to take stuff from and implement it in your game?
Oh, yeah, definitely, you know, Holiday, Nimhard, you know, Shea Gilgeous, you know, Fads, really, you know, good point guards, you know, Halliburton. I watch a lot of guys, you know, I don't say I want to just watch one guy, you know, I watch a lot of NBA.
So if you had to compare yourself to somebody pro-com, I know it's a bit arbitrary, but who would you compare yourself to?
Definitely Drew Holiday, that's my favorite, you know. But, you know, probably somebody that's really quick and can play defense and do it at all levels.
For you, are you then more of a 2 or 1, or do you think you can play on or off the ball?
I think I can play both, you know, but my primary position was 1, you know, when I was in college, so I think I can do both.
And over the, you know, obviously weight room is something everybody wants to work on, but heading into the NBA, what's something outside the weight room you're trying to work on?
I would say just being a great teammate first and really just keep improving my game, keep improving my skill level, and just like be an all-around guy.
Last question is, what's your most overrated or underlooked skill?
Most overlooked skill is probably my shooting. Most, you said overrated?
Yeah, underrated. My
underrated.
Overloaded or underrated?
Underrated skill is probably my passing and vision, you know, being able to find guys at a high level.
Appreciate it. Special luck, bro.
Thank you.
Are you still considering
just my ability to shoot it is going to attract the defense to stay close and open up lanes, and then it's going to help me get driving lanes off the catch when they close out. You said what my most proudest?
Yeah, like what are you most proud of that you've worked on that you feel as if, you know, you're just like most proud of, like this is my skill set, I own it?
I would just say my competitiveness.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think a lot of guys have the level of competitiveness and intensity and heart that I have, and I'm excited to show it.
What's your most underrated or overlooked skill then?
I would say my athleticism. I think I showed it here at the combine. I had a good vertical, I had a good shuttle drill. I mean, I'm just going to continue to show everybody that I'm pretty athletic.
How much did that ankle injury mess you up in terms of, you know, you are a shooter, but it seemed like there was 2 different versions of you. Before the ankle and then after, it seemed like, you know, maybe getting your shot or spots maybe was a little bit different.
I was definitely playing through a lot of pain once I got back out on the court. I mean, I really couldn't stay away for that long. I hated missing those games that I missed, but I was very happy to be back out there.
That Montverde team you were on, you know, especially senior year, it seems like there was like some ferociously competitive people on that team. I guess you paint a picture of what that felt like day to day and how much you guys pushed one another, how much you were competitive with one another. Talking to Derek, he said that there was a lot of trash talk in practice. What was that like?
I mean, it gets intense, you know. A lot of trash talking, like you said. There were some friendly altercations going on in practice, pretty often, as a matter of fact. But I mean, I really do miss those practices. If I could do one again right now, I would in a heartbeat.
When you guys played other teams, so you guys were pretty darn dominant, right? I mean, what was that year like? How fun was it to?
I mean, yeah, just preparing and practice, and I mean, we all had confidence in each other, great confidence. And we just learned how to play good basketball, so it made the games easy.
I was talking to Matt Cohen. He said that there was a lot of pressure on that team to go win a championship. You guys felt like really was title or bust, and you guys were able to accomplish that. I guess how much did that environment prepare you for the next level, and what did you learn from being in that type of competitive, high pressure environment?
I mean, right, like there was a lot of pressure that high school season. But going on to college season, there was even more pressure. So I mean, just continuing to learn and to deal with that is what I've been trying to do. And like I said, pressure is a privilege.
If you're watching film, who are you watching? Who are you trying to take from?
I mean, I watch a lot of film of myself, just to see where I mess up, how I can get better, things I do good to continue to do them. I've watched a lot of Luka Doncic in my life, a lot of Dirk Nowitzki, but like current guys, more current, Gordon Hayward, Keegan Murray. I think those are some good guys.
Who are some pro comps if you had to give yourself one?
The one I've been using recently is Gordon Hayward, pre-injury, but even post-injury he was great. I mean, his just his ability to score the ball and be very versatile. Like, that's what I'm trying to do.
That's luck for you, man.
I appreciate it.
No problem, man.
In your life that you feel like just changed you to be the man you are today?
It's a lot. I feel like even when it came down to like moving around as much as I did when I was younger, and like I didn't realize how much it had an effect on my life. But moving around and stuff like that, my mom going through what she went through with cancer, like just it kind of all that all kind of played a part in that. Yeah. Thank you.
And first off, I didn't know that about your mom. I hope she's doing better.
Yeah, she's all good. Yeah.
I was talking with Rich. He loves you, man. And like, I've heard from several teams. You're flying up board. So, what kept you at St. Joe's all those years?
Well, I made a commitment my freshman year that I was going to stay there, so I wasn't going to back on my word just because of other offers flying at me and all that, you know what I'm saying? Like, I made a commitment to stay there, and I felt that they were doing a good job with my development, and it was a great fit for me, so I didn't feel like I needed to leave to go to any other school.
I actually like that. You know, very few people are like that, it feels like, today.
Yeah.
So, regardless if you were playing or not, what were you trying to prove here at the Combine?
Just that I'm willing to work, you know, and that I'm like off the court that I'm a good guy too. You know, it's just I know people don't know a lot about me, but I'm a good guy off the court too, and I like to work hard.
For you, what's a overlooked or underrated skill that you think people need to take notice?
That I could put the ball on the floor. I haven't showed it a lot, like in the season or anything like that, or just the college career in general, but I can put the ball on the floor, and that's something I can continue to work on.
And when you're watching film, is there any guys you specifically watch that you're trying to take things from their game?
Kind of. Like I said, I've seen I watch a little bit of like Jaden McDaniels and like Nas Reed and OG. I see a lot of like similarities in terms of like what they can do, like on the court, and I see myself being in that type of position.
Talking about similarities, is there any pro comps if you had to give yourself one?
Yeah, those ones. Those are like OG and Jaden McDaniels, maybe all around type of guys. And I've heard Jeremy Grant before. That's what my coach says. I've heard Jeremy Grant, and yeah, just like do it all guys, kind of could do it all.
And for you, who's your GOAT?
Brian.
Why?
He could do it all. He could do it all. He could do it all. Play 1 through 5. Can guard 1 through 5. Makes great decisions for his teammates and for he does everything it takes to win a game. Like he's greatest all the time.
Appreciate you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Best of luck,
Appreciate that. Yeah.
Another one of my idols growing up, so for me, I think that was really, really special.
Was the money close? Because I know in college right now, some of the numbers that are going around for international guys are really, really high.
Yeah, I think the money now is insane. The college market is getting blown out. But yeah, I think for me at the time, it was just making the right decision by my family and by what I wanted as well. So yeah.
What do you make of? 45 international guys are coming over to play college basketball next year, and they're getting real money.
Yeah, I think it's great for basketball. You know, there are kids that are going to get these opportunity to go over and not only play college but make a whole lot of money while doing it. And I think that that can set people up for a really long time. And I think it's great that internationals are slowly, making their way over. And although my preference was the NBL, I think a lot of guys have different preferences and different opinions on whatever that may be. So I think it's a really positive sign.
Appreciate it.
Last two for me. Do you take notice of any of the draft mock predictions?
That's a good question. I know my family do sometimes text me. I know my brother's all over it. For me, it's just, I think of myself as a pretty special talent, and I don't really look at the mocks. Obviously I see them on my Instagram feed when I'm scrolling through, and I see 55 here and I see 48, and last year it was 20 and 15. So for me, I don't get too caught up in that stuff. It's it's going to go how it's supposed to go. And for me, you know, if I can show one team, if I can show 10 teams how special I really am, that's all that matters to me.
Talk about the pride you have in representing Australia on the international stage.
Yeah, I mean, it was my dream. I remember growing up, all I wanted to do was, I was a swimmer first, and all I wanted to do was represent Australia at the Olympics for swimming. And then I picked up basketball, and it became, all right, I want to become a boomer. You know, I want to go and play basketball at the highest level and put the green and gold across my chest. You know, and I think everyone plays for the name on the front, not the name on the back, and I think that's what makes it really special.
Rocco,
thank you.
I know you had a coaching change. I met Schuler 2 years ago, spoke very highly of you, said you were going to be the #1 pick. How much did he mean to your development over there with the Brisbane Bullets?
Yeah, I mean, he was good. We had our ups and downs, that's for sure. But through juniors, he was great. And then, you know, the NBL, I had a really successful first year, and that was great for me. And the second year, you know, dealing with some injury and dealing with some other stuff, it just, you know, it became hard. And, you know, wanting to win games and contract years for a lot of players, it made it really difficult. But he was good, you know, he was supportive, and ultimately, you know, I wouldn't have gone anywhere else.
For you, when you're watching film, are there certain guys you're taking, you know, stuff from and trying to implement in your game?
Yeah, I think a lot. Like in this pre-draft process, I've been watching a lot of Kristaps Porzingis. You know, the way he can play offensively out of the short pick and roll into that mid-range, get into his shot has been really impressive. I think another guy for me is Miles Turner. Love the way he plays. Offensively and defensively. You've obviously got Evan Mobley, the past defensive player. He's unreal. I've been lucky enough to go to a couple of NBA games in person and watch Rudy. I think he's offensively he's all right. Defensively, I really enjoy watching his stuff. I think he's a great defender, and those are the sort of guys that I like to sort of base myself around a little bit.
Going off of that, do you have any like pro comps if you had to give yourself of who you want to be like or think you're like?
I don't know. That's a hard one. Look, I want to be. I think I told a couple of guys this. You know, I want to be a Rudy Gobert plus. You know, I think I bring that defensive energy and I bring that rim protection that Rudy Gobert has shown when he's won past Defensive Player of the Year awards. But I also think like my offensive game. You know, I'm going to be able to shoot the three. I'm going to be able to stretch the floor, and I'm going to be able to do a pick and roll and dunk the basketball. You know, that's what I've been doing for years. So for me, that's sort of like my focus. But obviously things do go how they want, and the team's construction how they want. But I'm just excited to show what I can do.
Do you have a player you're most excited to go up and match up against when you reach the NBA?
Yeah, I think personal matchup is definitely Victor Wembanyama. You know, he's been regarded as, you know, the future of basketball, and
you really did. I'm excited to see your next chapter.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. Be well. Be safe.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, then what is it about your game that you think is going to translate to the next level? Simple start.
I mean, the obvious one is the rim protection and whatnot. That's going to translate right away. But just, you know, my mind for the game. Played 5 years of college basketball. I know pretty well how offenses and defensive schemes work, so I can pick that stuff up really quick. So I think just rim protection and feel for the game are going to be two things that translate right away.
From like a mental health standpoint, you know, how do you think, you know, from a mental health standpoint, the difference would be from when you were in college to the pros, and what was it like just being like a student athlete over those 4 years? And, you know, were there a lot of resources that were able to help, you know, keep you kind of focused on basketball and being a student during that time?
Well, I've been in grad school the last 2 years. To say that I was a student athlete is a little bit of a stretch, but no, I think the biggest thing for me is just having my wife around. She just, you have that constant presence around, and, you know, you might be stressed about school or basketball or whatever, but when you have that person, it helps a ton.
Were there any challenges, I guess, along the way?
Yeah, I had some mental hurdles to get through with basketball. I'd make a bad play, and then I'd take myself out of the game for the next 5 minutes because I was so mad at myself. But getting over that was huge for me and a big key when I took a step to being a great player.
Okay. Were there any resources that they provided you to help you kind of get through some of those moments improvements on and off the court?
Yeah, we had a guy who worked with us at Creighton specifically for the mental health stuff or mental stuff, my mental side of the game, and I met with him for like 2 hours one day and just came up with all these different strategies to try to overcome that. And one of them that we talked about actually did work really well for me and helped me get over that hump.
Ryan, when you're watching film, who are you watching film-wise, and what's a pro comp for yourself?
I don't know. I don't watch one person in specific for film. I just take in basketball film and learn like how offenses work, how defenses work, and like as far as a pro comp, I always tell people when they ask me this, like I just try to be myself. I don't want to be anyone else. I don't want to try to model my game after any one person. I just want to be me.
Hey man, best of luck to you.
Thank you.
Good luck to your game.
Appreciate it.
Hey, by the way, did you ever have a chance to leave, or were you sold on staying?
I'd never even looked at leaving.
Good man.
Never even looked.
Have a good one, bro.
What that really means. Like they say they just like me how I am as a person as well.
Yeah.
So like, I just try to basically be myself while I'm like in those interviews and meetings like that.
Who did you meet with today? Do you know?
I met with Chicago, the Chicago Bulls, the San Antonio Spurs, Utah Jazz, Minnesota Timberwolves, and I forget one.
You probably all played.
Utah Jazz.
What was your meeting like with the
Bulls? Detroit Pistons. There you go.
What was your meeting like with the Bulls?
It went well. It went well. They told me they've been watching me since, like, one of the people told me that they've been watching me since like I came into Georgetown, and like they've been to a couple practices and they just liked how like I give energy out to like other players and like how like I'm able to bring the same intensity every day.
What kind of feedback are you getting from your agent going into this process in terms of where you might go?
He's saying that I'm in like a range between like lottery and like not late, but like early 20s, kind of. So he's just like, when I go into these interviews, just like be myself and basically telling people who I am.
What about your game do you think translates to the next level immediately, and what are some of the things you might need to work on?
I say like my feel for the game, the way how I read the game as well, and like just like my ability on defense to just read how people are being guarded, basically. And what I need to work on, I'll definitely say shooting, because like my percentages, but I say that's mostly just like from my confidence, like, because if you were looking at a couple of my games, like I hit a couple threes, then I missed 1 3, and then I stopped shooting for the rest of the game. So I'll say it's just like that confidence, like building back up.
Now, I know we're getting way ahead of ourselves here, but your college coach is very tight with Billy Donovan. Did you get any kind of feedback about Billy Donovan?
Nah, I ain't hear anything from Billy Donovan yet. Nah.
Okay, all right. Well, Ed and Billy go way back, man.
Yeah.
For you watching film-wise?
Who I watch film-wise?
Yeah.
I try to watch like a little bit of everybody, like a little bit of every big. But like I've been watching the playoffs lately, so I've been seeing like a little bit of Jokic, a little bit of Trace Jackson Davis, like the way how he plays with intensity. So I just try to like learn off those like bigs and see what I can like do from it.
Who's your pro comp if you had to choose?
If I had to choose?
Yeah.
I mean, I've been hearing a lot lately, like a young Al Horford. So I gotta like get into the lab, look some YouTube videos up, but yeah.
And get the 3-point shot up, because I do can hit it, man.
Facts.
I'm sorry if someone asked this already, but is the door closed for you?
I don't think one's ever got the better of the other. I feel like it's always been an even match, and that's one of my closest friends actually in this draft class, and just knowing no matter when or wherever, if we're checking the ball up, it's going to be a great matchup.
Right. How did that, I mean, what was that like going back and forth? Is there talking? Is there no talking? What's it like?
It's talking. It's talking both ways, and it's crazy for that to still be my friend, I swear.
Yeah.
Like, we won't even talk about the game, and it's still, like, we're close and tight, but we know when we're on the court, we're going back and forth, it's going to be a good one for sure.
What is the games in this past season that you think people should watch to get the best idea of your game?
I like the A&M game we played in the second time, just because it was a comeback game, and then just playing both sides of the ball, guarding one of their other best guards on their team outside of Wade, and then it was just a great game overall, for sure.
Trey, when it's all said and done, what do you want your legacy?
Personally, I always told myself just trying to be top 5. I can't even argue that. Like top 5 best player of all time. And that's what the goal is for me when it's all said and done.
You're all set. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
To succeed, so that helped us out a lot on and off the court.
All right, so who was the guy? Who was the SEC guard that you were just like, this is a tough one?
This is a tough one.
Yeah.
Man, I'm gonna say last year. Honestly, this year I can't really think about any exact one, but last year, man, Dalton Connect, he gave us 39, so I'll say him.
Okay.
Atlanta, how has your mentality kind of changed from, starting off at Iona, then going to Florida, and how do you feel like that's prepared you coming into the league now?
For sure. I wouldn't say no difference in mentality. Obviously, work every day. Stay where you at, be present in the moment, and just keep on working. So I wouldn't say like a mentality change.
With Dalton, you potentially landing with Washington. What do you know about the organization, the team, etc.?
Obviously, NBA team, great organization. They're working to win games just like everybody else. So if I was blessed, to be drafted by them, it'd be great. Come in and work from day one.
What's the most underrated part of your game?
Most underrated, I'd probably say playmaking. I think I'm a pretty good playmaker. Making passes, things like that. I think it'll go to another level with the NBA spacing.
And then when you get up to the NBA and once you hear your name called, what's going to be that thought process? If you can anticipate that at all, what would it be?
Honestly, I don't know, man. My mom will probably just be blank. My mom will probably start crying or something. So hopefully I don't shed no tears, but I might. We'll see.
Is that all you're bringing to Brooklyn with you? Who's going to be in that entourage?
For sure, my mama, my girl, my daughter, my little sister, my pops, and my auntie.
There you go. Have you thought about outfits yet?
I have not. We trying to stay present right now. We're gonna think about it later. I'm trying to let my mom handle all that.
Shout out to mom.
Shout out to her.
There you go. Appreciate you.
Appreciate you. How did you know that you were ready to take the jump from the MAC, which is a good league? People don't know that, but they confuse it with the other MAC, of course. But that you're ready to make that jump. Like how are you convinced that you're like, okay, I can do this?
First of all,
similar jump now.
For sure, yeah. First, shout out to Coach P. Just helping me get better over those 2 years that I was there. And I say it all the time, man. The difference in the college games at most of the levels isn't really the guards, it's the bigs. So felt like I could take that jump. As long as I kept working, made the jump. Had some success at Florida.
You're obviously kind of the old man in this group. Cooper's 18. You've seen things. You've lived life a little bit. How much better prepared? Not to say they're ill prepared, but you've been through some stuff already.
Yeah, for
How
sure.
much does that prepare you for what's coming now?
I can't speak for anybody else, but especially for me, over my years, just mentally. I think I've gotten different things that I've needed over the years, and it's just mentally helped me grow into a space where I'm comfortable at now, and I feel like I'm ready for anything.
Come on, who's your pro comp if you had to give yourself one?
I don't got no specific player. I ain't gonna lie.
What film are you watching then of guys that you want to take things from them?
For sure, you got Brunson with his footwork, patience in the paint. You got Donovan Mitchell with his just different moves to get to a floater, and you got Holiday with just his instincts on defense.
Good guys to be watching. Best luck to you.
Walter, if you had to pick your big
You've experienced some big wins at Michigan State. What is the best memory or the best celebration moment for you and your team?
I think the best celebration moment was senior night against Michigan. We got to celebrate our Big Ten title, and just to have
I
that.
went to Michigan.
See, look, you're on the wrong side of this.
Michigan State too, but
Definitely.
what's your opinion on Ohio State then?
Ohio State. I like them more than Michigan. I'll say that.
So we're on the same page.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jase.
Of course.
Jase, two things. First, I covered your dad in Orlando.
You did?
It's a pleasure to meet you. Your dad was always couldn't have been nicer to me. Thank you. And second, I have never, ever seen anything like
Walks us through warm-ups.
Hold on, one more time.
Here at the Combine, the NBA performance staff walks us through warm-ups.
Here at the Combine, the NBA performance staff walk us through warm-ups.
Before every drill to make sure we're ready to play our best.
Before every drill to make sure we're playing our best.
All right, here we go. You're doing great. I know as a middle school or high school player, you might not have access to those resources. But it's still
They can, if anything, turn the program around when it comes to winning. If they haven't win as much, as aim to win more, aim to go to the playoffs. If I'm going to a team that haven't been in the playoffs, so that's something that's coming in to win.
How well do you know Keontae?
Not been knowing, but not as well.
He's, like I say, he's still busy with his, his second year, just finished his second year in the league. Where people think like it's the hardest year for like the sophomore or something, whatever they call it. They think it's hard to play the sophomore year. But Key's really cool. He reached out to me when I committed. Just tell me good luck. Tell me if I need anything. Just let him know or something like that. He's been cool.
If you're drafted by Charlotte, you're going to join 2 other high draft picks in LaMelo Ball and Brandon Miller. How do you feel like your game complements theirs?
I feel like I'll be able to play off of them, fit into what they got going on over there. They say they're both really great talents. Just be able to fit in, know my role, do what I have to do.
Wes, how has your experience been in Chicago?
It's been good. Chicago's a beautiful city, man. My first time really in the city. Really in Chicago.
How's the food been?
It's been good. I actually had the deepest pizza. Yeah, it's solid. I like it. It's fun.
You also came to Chicago at the right time with warm weather too.
Yeah, it's pretty warm. Yeah. I heard it gets really bad up here, so it's
how's
really cool.
How's your game being able to grow from your tiny Baylor to where you are now, just on the cusp of getting ready to achieve your NBA dream?
Yeah, man, I've grown a lot as a man, off and on the floor, man. They taught me a lot on the court, how to move on the court, and then off the court, how to be a good person. Every day, always find your joy within this life.
Is there an underrated aspect of your game that you think people will be not surprised, but just kind of say that we didn't know that VJ could do that?
Score.
Do you think that you've improved your ability to kind of get guys off the dribble?
Yeah, I think I have. I've definitely done that for sure.
How do you think that you respond to tough coaching?
I feel I take tough coaching well. I embrace it. It shows that they support me, they love me, they want what's best for me and the team.
There's a potential that you end up, there's a lot of teams kind of in the range where you would fall that are rebuilding teams. There could be a lot of losses ahead for you.
Yeah.
How are you going to handle that?
Just keep working every day, keep getting better as a team. Until it's that time, we know that'll be what's up. We know what we're working for, and that'll be a playoffs, and keep setting our goals and standards. Have our expectations as the years go on. So that's the year.
Who would you say your player comps are?
My favorite player comps?
Yeah.
I might be Drew Holiday. I seen that. Some say Ant here and there. So yeah, I think it's
How about
Dwayne Wade.
When you were growing up on YouTube, what kind of players were you watching?
What did I watch? I watch people I watch everybody for real, just like to learn.
Anyone in particular that you kind of pick your game?
I used to watch Ja a lot. I still do actually. Anthony Edwards. I was watching Jalen Green, LeBron, Dwayne Wade. Yeah, I used to watch everybody.
In terms of any players, have any players given you advice over the years?
Yeah, I've gotten advice from most members, just to trust the process.
Who's the guys giving you the most?
I would say my Bahamian teammates.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Buddy, Davion Mitchell helped me a lot also. So yeah.
I want to ask you, what do you know about Will Bradley? You guys spent time together.
Then at Michigan, I played predominantly at the 4 and was in a bunch of ball screen actions and DHOs and played with another big and kind of expanded my game in that sense.
Why did it work so well with you and Vlad?
Yeah, I mean, at first we had a lot of shooting and there was a bunch of spacing and you had a bunch of high-level guys around us that made it work, and then Vlad has some of the best hands and some of the best finishing in all of college basketball, and he made everything so seamless.
If I told you when you got to Yale that a couple years later you'd win a first-round game against Auburn, you'd win the Big Ten tournament, and you'd be a potential first-round pick, what would you have told me?
I want to say I'd call you crazy, but deep down I always knew it would be possible, and just super appreciative of the position I'm in today, and there's a lot of more work to be done, but it's been an awesome journey thus far. Awesome. Exactly.
Your game is obviously unique. There's a lot of talk about it. How do you describe your game, and how do you see it translating at the NBA level?
Yeah, I'm just going to have to play into whatever mold and whatever role our coaching staff wants us to play in and wants me to play in, and whether that be at the 4 or the 5, is whatever it might be, I think that I just got to play into what they want me to do.
What have the last few days been like for you here?
It's been an unbelievable experience. I mean, it goes without saying, it's what every kid dreams of, and getting ready for hopefully the NBA draft soon, and it's been awesome so far.
What are the team interviews like?
They've been great. I've had 3 so far, and
I thought my emotions were going to be pretty high, but it wasn't as nerve-wracking as I thought. And just being in a room with a bunch of decision makers at different teams, it's an unbelievable feeling, and just got to be yourself and be authentic.
What do they have you do? Do they ask you questions about yourself? Do they break down film? Like, what's it like?
I think it's a few different things. Some might have you break down film. Some might ask you funny questions. Some might ask you personality questions. They'll ask you about your past, why you're in the position you are in today, expectations. It all varies.
What are you trying to prove? Like today, obviously, skill set wise, we know you're a floor stretching big. But what were you trying to prove at the combine?
Yeah, so I didn't really get to play. So I mean, during testing, I think that I think I tested pretty well for my size, and so from that extent, I guess that, and I didn't shoot it as well as I would have wanted to, and something I'm excited to show teams in the next few weeks.
What are you trying to look when you watch film? Is there any certain players that you're trying to take stuff from?
Yeah, I think a lot of European big guys, and they make the game look super effortless, and Jokic, Şengün, Sabonis, to name a few, and try to take bits and pieces out of all of them.
If you had to compare yourself to, obviously I know it's a bit arbitrary, but what would be your pro-con if you had to self-compare?
I think a mix of all those guys, I would say. I try to take bits and pieces of all of them, and of course we're the best players in the world, and I just try to emulate as much as I can as some of their stuff.
And for you, I know you're, like you said, you're a unique player. Are you more of a 4 or 5, or do you think you're kind of a switch big?
I think I can play both positions.
Thanks, man. I appreciate you.
Danny, good to see you. How are you? I'll say Chipotle.
Last one, would you rather your name be pronounced wrong on draft night or trip on stage?
Name pronounced wrong, you can't trip on stage. That'll be in history books forever.
Thank you.
Of course.
Have you gotten any questions like that from the team? Is there one that stands out?
Yeah, I mean, team will ask lighthearted questions all the time. It's very, I mean, they say their job interviews and they seem just as such.
What's it like going through this process in this event with Vlad too? You just mentioned
I got to see Vlad a few days ago. It was his birthday. I don't know what time it is right now, but I'm gonna try to go and catch his 5-on-5 a little later. And I know he was really hoping for the invite, and he got it. And I hope he does great and hears his name called in a month and a half.
What would he bring to a team?
Yeah, I mean, exactly what you saw. I mean, what you're getting is what you see is what you're getting. He's an unbelievably skilled 5 with amazing touch, great hands, very big frame, and you look at a guy like Zubac on the Clippers, and I know he's getting compared to him a lot right now, and I think he kind of brings that same value.
Danny, did you give me the rundown of? You grew up in the North Burbs, right?
Yep.
Glenview.
Glencoe.
Go to GBS.
No, that's Glenview.
Hey, I'm a North Burbs guy. I know where we're at here, but
no, Glencoe is New Trier.
Yeah.
But I did not. I went to Lake Forest Academy for 2 years, and then prep school in Mass for 2 years.
This is what I need. I know you went to prep school. So, bottom line, to have grown up here, to be at the draft combine in Chicago, what are those emotions like?
Surreal. I was actually telling people I was here a year ago meeting with my strength coach at Michigan in the weight room on the 4th floor, and it was kind of an introductory meeting, and I was extremely enamored by all the NBA logos and the guys walking around, and to be here today, it's super surreal. I'm super appreciative of all the people that have helped me get here, and it's just a stepping stone in the process, and the start of hopefully a great month getting ready for the draft.
How would you describe the ascendance that you've had?
I think it's just pretty unique. I mean, I'm lucky to be here, and I mean, my basketball journey was anything but linear. It was extremely up and down. I didn't play much my freshman year. I don't even think I played. Sophomore year, barely played. Junior year was canceled due to COVID. When I tell my guys that I'm working out with in LA for pre-draft that I averaged 3 or 4 points in high school, no one believes me. I mean, a lot of the other guys in this room averaged 20 a game in high school and are one and dones. And then there's other guys who really had to just persevere. And of course, everyone comes from different backgrounds and situations. And I was lucky to have great coaches along the way to help me develop. And had a great 2 years at Yale and then an amazing year at Michigan, and I'm super thankful for everyone that's helped me get here.
Were you a big love the Bulls growing up?
Of course, yeah, I grew up a big time Bull. I grew up. Some of my fondest memories of as a kid were going to Bulls games with my family, I would say.
And watching who play? D Rose.
D Rose in his prime.
What what would that opportunity be like? Have you talked to the Bulls?
I have not interviewed or worked out for
What
them
would
yet.
that
I mean, it'd be a dream come true to play for any NBA team, and I mean, it's a hometown team, and I grew up going to the UC, and so yeah, I mean, it's going to be a dream to play for whatever team drafts me.
Danny, a couple of Michigan things if you don't mind. Like, do you still plan to continue working towards your degree, or where?
Yeah, I do actually. So I finished out the semester, and yeah, I plan on getting my degree.
Okay, so you're like, how close are you?
I have a year left, a
Yep.
full 2 semesters left.
Danny, you and Blood are Michigan's twin towers. What is one best off-court memory you two have ever shared?
Probably our official visit together last June. It was pretty awesome getting to know him, and I've been able to go really close with him. He's a great kid.
Love that. Go Blue.
Go Blue.
Danny, how do you feel about people already compare you with Jokic, the style you play?
He's the best player in the world. I mean, I try to emulate his game and other guys' games, and people just say that I'm a big passer, and that's what Jokic does. And I mean, it's an honor, but I mean, we're talking about the best player in the world. So,
Danny, how has it been? I know you've been out in California with the CAA guys, being in the gym with Coop and these guys, just the kind of iron sharp.
I get to go up against the #1 pick every day. Coop's an unbelievable kid. I've been able to become pretty close with him. Actually, we've kind of grown a great friendship recently, and great family. And I mean, he pushes me, as does the guy sitting next to me, and Janai Broom, and we have a really high-level group out there, and it's been awesome. I've been really.
Heard that Jase Richardson.
Yeah,
is also getting
Jase
back with you.
Richardson. He's actually, I think, working towards. I don't know exactly what it is. Yes, and he's been there. He's been a huge help. I mean, you got a 15-year NBA vet in the gym with you, and he gives you tips all along. It's invaluable, and we're all super lucky to have him out there with
How
us.
valuable is it just learning, just the physicality?
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. I mean, we'll be guarding each other, and they're very big on physicality because the NBA is a different animal, and he'll give us just one little nuance or tip to get around a screen better, and it's not a lot of people would know that unless you've actually done it and experienced it, and it's been super helpful.
Danny, as a center, how do you feel about now in the center position, all the players they require a lot of skill.
You see so many other dudes playing at a high level from any different school across the nation. So I don't think it matters where you come from. It's just, having a work ethic, having a mindset, and believing in yourself.
How would you describe your game and who you model your game?
Kobe Bryant's my idol. That's who I watched a lot of growing up. Tried to take things from him. We're similar in size, so I'm not Kobe Bryant, but I want to get to that point one day. But just trying to take things from some of those great players. Guys right now, I like Jalen Williams, I like Josh Hart, I like all those different 6'6", 6'5" type of guys who can do a little bit of everything.
And how would you describe your game specifically?
Versatility. I feel like I can, score at 3 levels. I can play make. I can rebound the ball, defend. So whatever a team asks of me, I feel like I'm capable of doing.
What do you think about your potential fit with the Wizards?
Wizards? I mean, I'm not saying no to any team. I feel like I'll fit in wherever I go. I have a good personality, good character. So I'll be able to fit in with any group. And then I feel like I'm an easy plug-and-play type of guy. Like, I can, like I said, do whatever I need to do on the court, whether that's being a defender, being a rebounder, being a guy that knocks down open shots, whatever the case may be. So I'm definitely excited.
What part of your game translates day one?
I think my maturity, my experience, I'm able to, I've seen a lot of high-level college basketball, and so that's definitely going to help me going into the next level, being able to be a part of a team. My leadership, I feel like I could bring that to a team, building that culture within the organization. And then, my game, I feel like I keep going back to it, but whatever the team needs of me, I feel like I can go in and help a team impact right away.
So you speak of your game. What's the most underrated part of your game?
I feel like my playmaking goes overlooked sometimes. I grew up being a point guard, so I've always kind of had a good feel for the game and high IQ. So I think my playmaking, my IQ for the game.
You could comp yourself, anybody else. I know you admire Kobe, but Who's your game model at for those years?
Yeah, I think like a Jalen Williams, Aaron Wiggins. I've heard Mikal Bridges, all those different type of players. I'm my own unique player, but definitely feel like I see some different aspects of those guys in my game.
What's your journey been
Today?
Yeah, well, no, just since you've been here at the combine.
I've met with quite a few. I met with today, Detroit, Minnesota. Who else? Got to look at the list. There's a lot of them. Spurs. Who else? I can't remember.
Were the Bucks in the mix?
Yeah, the Bucks. Yep, the Bucks.
You met them today?
Yep, Warriors. Yep. So I had 6 interviews today.
You had 6?
Yeah,
1, 2,
today.
3, 4, 5. Who am I missing here?
Oh, is there one more?
Detroit Bucks, Knicks.
I can look at.
Oh, I appreciate that. Yeah. Yeah, most of them. Do you have any workouts planned? Where are you going to go to?
Phoenix. Yeah, that's Phoenix. Yeah.
Hey, man, when you're watching film, who are you watching? What are you trying to take?
When I'm watching film?
Yeah.
Just trying to learn the NBA game more. NBA game is different from college, so just trying to pick up on little tips and things that they do. You can get away with some certain things in the NBA that you can't in college. So trying to learn those things. Like somebody taught me the other day that you could take that extra step potentially in the NBA. So I wasn't used to that. So stuff like that. Ways guys guard certain actions or guard certain personnel. Just trying to pick up on those types of things. And then like drawing fouls, all that different stuff. I'm trying to just learn and continue to grow as a player.
Have you met John Tanjay?
Yeah.
Are you guys friends?
I know him a little bit. Yeah. We
because he played at Colorado State and had a great year at Wisconsin.
I used to go to. Well, I went up to the runs once I committed to Colorado State. I went up and did some runs during the summer with them, and John was still around, so I got to know him a little bit.
Yeah.
And then playing against him when he was at Colorado State, and then seeing him here at the combine. So we got a good relationship. He had a great year.
What was your impressions of him as a person and as a player?
Oh, man, he took off this year. He was a good player already at Colorado State, but he really took it to another level at Wisconsin. And just great human being. Great human being. He's just a good dude. Nobody ever has anything bad to say about him. So
it's too bad you guys couldn't have played together.
Man, I say that too. We talked about it. It could have been me, him, Isaiah, and Roddy. We'd had a tough team.
I got another Colorado State question for you.
I have a couple questions for you. So the last couple this week here, what are you trying to prove?
Sorry, say it again.
What are you trying to prove the last couple days here?
最近这几个周，你觉得你最需要进步的地方是什么？
去适应他们的节奏，还有就是跟我速度。
He tried to match up their speed and their pace. Is there first thing he need to improve?
What is your expectation now that you've been here? Like, are you surprised or you feel like you fit right in?
他说你到这边感觉怎么样？你是感觉更惊讶、更吃惊，还是说感觉就是按你自己的感觉？
就是来到这以后，就是感觉很新奇，然后就是他们的打球方式也是就是国内很少见的，然后就是我去用我的方式去跟他们去切磋去较量。
Firstly, everything surprising to be honest, and secondly, here the style they play is completely different than China style. So he tried to use his way and try to improve some things more and then play with each other. Yeah.
In terms of what would you say is your most underrated skill that people don't know about?
你有没有什么不为人知的一些技术还没展现出来？有没有什么被人低估的技术？你感觉就别人可能没有把你太在意，但是你觉得这是你的一门武器能用得上？
等明天自己看。
He said he will show you tomorrow.
Outside of the weight room, what would you say you're trying to improve on the most?
就是除了在练房上面，力量上面，你觉得还有什么地方你必须要提高？最想提高？
投篮嘛，投篮稳定性。
It's a consistency about shots.
Consistency
of shots.
Of shots. Okay. Who would you say are your player comps?
Sorry.
Who would you say are your player comps?
Player
comparisons.
Comparison. 你觉得你跟谁是你的模板？自己说。
哇哦，这个我放开说了啊。
He will give you some big name.
我随便说了啊。
He'll give you a big name.
你不要
It's okay. Say.
神哥有个
Okay.
神哥有个
Joker.
Yeah.
神哥
Shingo. These two.
啥？小啥？小啥问题？
Sabonis. Play for the Kings, I think. Yeah.
姚明 no。
不看姚人吗？
我还是有点差距的。
Still got a big difference between me and him.
有点打球方式有点不太一样的。
I think my way and Yao's way is a little bit different. It's how we play the game. Yeah.
Have you talked to Yao?
之前跟姚明有交流吗？
Did he give you like good advice?
有没有给过你一些比较好的建议？
那必须的，吃饱喝好，睡好。
He said, Yao tell him, go enjoy the food, go enjoy sleep, go enjoy the American life. He just said
last one here. When you were growing up on YouTube or any like, who would you watch the most, like player wise?
就是你看，比如说从小到大，你看谁的高光比较多？比较喜欢看谁的这个精彩片段？
有给。
叫 Joker，
just Joker，
no one else 比较多。
有个 Joker， 那个叫什么神哥啊，东西
Luka like Luka， yeah, he look like plays of Luka.
Apologize if these questions have already been asked, but what would you say you're trying to prove out here?
You said what?
What would you say you're trying to prove out here?
I'm just trying to prove, I'm one of the best players. Like, I'm trying to be one of the best players, or I'm one of the most competitive players here. Everybody's walking around with a chip on their shoulder, so why should I walk with the same chip on mine?
Outside of the weight room, what would you say you're trying to improve on the most?
I'd say my shot, consistency-wise, probably get my shot more consistent, and that's probably number one thing right now.
What would you say is the most underrated thing about yourself that most people overlook?
I say my guard skills. I played point guard my whole life, and then grew a little bit. And now, my sophomore, junior year, I was more of a forward. But I'd like for people to know, I played guard my whole life.
So do you feel like people kind of forgot that about you?
Yeah, I feel that. Yeah. That's one thing I'm working on right now, getting back comfortable with being a guard.
Have you lost any of that confidence over the years? No,
I haven't. I just play to what my team needs and to help them win every chance I step on the floor.
And in terms of player comps, who would you say you model your game after?
If I'm being honest, I don't really model my game after anybody. I watch games. If I see a move I like or something, I might add it to my bag or something, but I wouldn't really model my game after anybody.
Which players in particular are you talking about?
I watched a lot of Kyrie, KD, Jason Tatum. I do have a little bit of player comps to Jimmy Butler. I've been told Jimmy Butler, OG Anunoby. So I can agree with it, but I wouldn't say I model my game after them.
When you were growing up, like maybe you were on YouTube, like what kind of players did you watch the most?
I was watching Derrick Rose highlights. Derrick Rose and Kevin Durant.
Derrick Rose and Kevin Durant,
yes,
those two, exactly. And the last one here,
Kyrie too.
Kyrie as well. Have there been any NBA players or maybe just players in general that's given you the most advice in your journey?
Tyler Eulis is part of our coaching staff, so just being able to hear from him the whole year. I mean, for the last 3 years, he's been in the league. He was able to play there for some time. He was able to go there with his height and everything. So he was. Oh, okay.
Just wanted to know your thoughts. You being here, what would you say you're trying to prove?
I'm just, trying to prove that everything that I've done throughout my career, specifically pointing to my efficiency and being a 50, 40, 90 guy, is something that directly translates to the league. I mean, I'm a 3-and-D guy, so, I make shots. whether it be on the move, off the catch, off the dribble, and then I defend. You know, I can defend multiple positions, and I can play multiple guard positions. So just trying to continue to build upon what I've always done and just showcase my versatility, you know, my shot making and my defensive instincts.
Just the level of competition, you being here, do you feel like to fit right in, or do you feel like this is maybe something, are you surprised about it? Like, what are your thoughts?
You know, I definitely fit right in. I mean, most of the guys here played in the SEC. You know, I played against the best talent, the best guys in the country my entire college career. So, yeah, I definitely, I know for a fact that I fit right in for sure.
What would you say that you're trying to, that you need to improve on the most in your game?
I mean, what I've been focusing on this summer is just my playmaking skills, because I spoke to being able to play both guard positions, but you know, I can always just improve when I am at the helm and, you know, running the point guard and just making the right plays, making passes on time and on target, not turning the ball over, taking care of it, and then just rebounding from the two guard spot.
What would you say is the most underrated thing about you that most people don't know?
Basketball wise?
Yeah.
I'd probably say my handle and just being able to create my own shot. I mean, I've showcased it, but I think people try to get into my dribble sometimes and then they can't take the ball, so they kind of realize, okay, he's a better ball handler than I probably took him for. And you know, I did speak to, you know, my playmaking skills, but I do feel like my passing is underrated. It is something that I'm, you know, able to do. Is just at Missouri, I had a different role, so you know, it wasn't necessarily my job to distribute and be a playmaker. It's more so just be aggressive, score, make plays when I can. But you know, I would definitely say those two things are underrated about my game.
In terms of player comps, who would you say, who's your player comp?
I got a few guys that I could point to. I really like Matisse Thybulle. I like the way that he defends. I like both of the wings that play in OKC, Isaiah Joe and Aaron Wiggins, Norman Powell. You know, just some guys that were, you know, play on both sides of the ball. You know, can shoot it really well and can play multiple guard positions and guard really well. I also like Malik Beasley and Devin Vassell too. So I think those guys, you know, I can fit kind of the way that they play in the NBA. I can do the same things.
Last one here. I'm sure you watch YouTube as a kid growing up, and you watch video of players. Like, who would you say, which players did you emulate to take and emulate the most?
I mean, the first number I ever wore was 7 because of Lamar Odom. So I'm left-handed. So like me and my brother, we was watching the Lakers in the playoffs and obviously watching highlights on YouTube, and he thought he was Kobe and I was Lamar Odom. So, you know, I would say that was younger. And then I've always been like I have more like an old school feel to my game. So like I've always watched a lot of highlights on Richard Hamilton, Cuttino Mobley, some guys that, you know, played in little like eras like that were obviously way before me when I was a kid, but the way that they played was a little bit of ahead of their time, you could say. So, yeah, those are some of the guys I watched.
Now that you mentioned those older guys, would you say, is Michael Jordan your GOAT? Because you watch the old school guys. Yeah.
I mean, my dad from Chicago, so like that's all I've like heard my whole life. I obviously I would have loved to see him play and like see it in real time, but like LeBron is like he's ridiculous. Like, you know, yeah. I mean, I hope he don't retire because I know it's like later in his career, but I gotta see it in person. Like I gotta, yeah. That's what I'm saying. I just want to share the court with him and just kind of experience that, not from the TV screen. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. The GOAT debate with me is tough. Like I'll move the goalpost all day and kind of, you know, like kind of make arguments for both sides because I just try to appreciate greatness instead of just like saying you the GOAT. But I mean, they both, you know, the greatest like of all time. You could say in their own right, in their own way.
What advantages does being Australian give you in this process? I think just having people to connect with, and I think obviously a lot of us gone through the NBA Academy at the AIS in Canberra, just having that, I guess, the same similarities in terms of where we came from, and they've experienced the things that we're all experiencing now.
Can you talk about the support you're receiving from back home in Australia, and do you feel like people are backing you up on this journey all the way?
Yeah, for sure. I definitely miss being back there. It's been a little minute since I've been back, but I think that's just what Australians pride themselves on, just supporting, and I think it's been huge throughout my college career.
How's the draft combine treated you so far, and for the rest of the week, what are you trying to accomplish?
It's been great. I said to someone else before, just taking it all in at a time, being where my feet are, just being present is a big thing, and I'm just looking forward to just meeting with a bunch of different people, meeting with teams, and just the whole experience itself.
Awesome. Do you take notice of the mock draft predictions at all?
No, not really. I haven't.
Oh.
Yes, sir.
Do you have one specific Australian player that's mentoring you all the way that you can count on? He'll pick up your phone call anytime.
You said mentoring?
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't say mentoring. I mean, like I said, me and Dice are really close. So I hadn't seen his journey. Obviously, we were together at the academy, so we're always talking all the time.
Awesome. How did the NBA Global Academy prepare you for this moment?
Yeah, I think in many ways. I think just how much of a impact they had just off the court mainly. Time management is a big thing. Getting you prepared for college and stuff like that. Obviously, leaving home at a young age. A lot of people leave home for the first time going to college. So I think just areas outside, but on the court, just all the things that come with basketball, competing at a high level, playing for not just yourself but for others.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
I just apologize if some of your questions have already been asked. Like, who would you say are your player comps?
My player comps? Yeah. I'm not too sure. Just trying to be as unique as I can be, and just playing my game at a high level.
And just in terms of when you were growing up, maybe on YouTube, what kind of players were you watching? Maybe it helps you model your game after. I
watched a lot of Allen Iverson, Jamal Crawford, as years went on, Jamal Murray, CP3, just pick and roll stuff like that. But I'd say those players.
What's the underrated? What would you say is the most underrated thing about you that most people don't know about?
I think the way that I defend the ball. I think I take a lot of pride in guarding and playing defense, and I'd say that's the main thing.
How'd you develop your outside shooting and your feel on the offensive end? It seems like those are two huge strengths of yours.
Yeah, I've always sort of been a shooter in my junior career and stuff like that. Obviously, it wasn't the clearest start at my first 2 years at Duke, but I think last year just embracing the role that I was in and just having confidence. I know I put in the work and just letting it fly.
You mentioned the
size, being a versatile defender, coming into the league, my three-point shot feels really good right now, and I know that I can contribute to a team, with character and morale, and just seeing, having a winner mindset.
What about this whole week? What's it been like the whole experience? Is it overwhelming? Is it fun? Is it stressful? Is it all of the above?
It's a little bit of everything, I felt like it's really exciting feeling, coming into the draft, combine, something that you always think about when you're a little kid, and, being able to experience is something amazing. It's been the fastest year of my whole life, so I'm learning to not take every single day for granted.
And what kind of feedback are you getting from your agent in terms of where you think you might go? Are you focused on that, or are you just kind of doing your thing and wherever you go, you go?
I'm kind of just trusting God, trusting the process, but I know I'm going to be one of the higher picks for sure. But I tend not to put my focus on that and just let my game do the talking, and wherever God is leading me to go, I'll go.
Do you have a preference of where you land?
No.
You just want to be in the NBA, right?
Oh, 100%.
Last question here. Cool. Thanks for your time, man.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it, man.
Coming, my defense, something that, it's in the league, you got to be able to guard multiple positions, and just being, having really good footwork and strength.
Just a quick one. Who did you say?
Chris Bosh.
Chris Bosh?
Yep. He's a lefty. He also can stroke the three ball a little bit. He's a versatile defender, can finish plays.
Like that. So just wanted to know, like, you being here, what would you say you're trying to prove?
Yeah, just not really trying to prove, just trying to prove to myself that, just going out there, just every minute I have on the floor, just competing my hardest, playing my hardest, just taking the right shots, being a good teammate, and just playing good basketball with a lot of effort.
What would you say that you need to improve on the most?
I would say it's a lot of things that I need to improve on, but mainly I would say just the consistency of my shooting, like shooting mechanics and stuff like that, just coming off of different actions, just pin down, staggers, just shooting off handoffs, off the dribble, like all that type of stuff, just shooting from three from long range. I feel like that's one of the areas where I need to improve the most.
What would you say is the most underrated thing about you that people don't know about?
I think my defense. I feel like people just look at me and they probably don't think that I can play good defense, But I feel like I'm very good at it. I'm a very smart physical defender. So I would say defense is definitely one of the most underrated parts of my game.
In terms of player comps, who would you say is yours?
I would say like AJ Mitchell from Oklahoma City Thunder. Yeah. I feel like we play like in the league. I feel like that would be the role that I could see myself doing, and the way he comes in with a lot of energy, plays hard, gets on the ball, plays off the ball, a little bit of both. So yeah.
And when you were growing up, I'm sure you watched YouTube and videos of other players. Like, who was the most you watched?
I watched everybody. I would say, like when I was just getting into basketball, I would say that Kobe was the one that I watched the most, and then it was James Harden. I love how he plays, how he like manipulates, just different coverages in ball screen, drop coverages, just how he controls the paint, and obviously his game off the dribble. But yeah, I watched literally everybody. D Wade, LeBron, and then when I got older, I would say, I can't even think of one singular person. I just watched literally all the NBA
Who would you say, which player did you take the most out of your game for your own game?
I couldn't even tell you. I feel like I watched so much basketball. Like I feel like I just take a little bit from everybody.
You being here, you were at the night camp as well. Like, so what are your expectations?
Expectations for myself?
Yeah.
Just to put my best foot forward, just show the scouts and teams that we're overall a team player, very skilled, athletic, and has a lot of intent to bring the game.
How would you feel you fare against your competition?
And I feel like I'm right there, maybe even better. So, I just have a lot of confidence in myself and hope to show that.
What would you say that you need to improve on the most important parts of your game?
Just being more vocal, defense, things you don't see that don't show up on the stat sheet.
And what's the most underrated thing about you that most people don't know about?
I'm a real vocal guy.
Quiet voice, vocal guy.
You have an example you can give?
From today?
Or today, or maybe the past year and the past season that you played?
Just an example of what, me being vocal?
And that really changed the dynamic of how your team played?
Oh yeah, coming off screens, just talking about being in the help backside, just quarterbacking the defense, things of that nature. Yes, sir.
Who are your player comps?
DeAndre Hunter, I feel like, yes sir.
Just him?
Jason Taylor, Kevin Durant, you tell me.
Izzy, you were awesome today. What were your goals and focus just coming out here and showing NBA scouts what you're about?
Yeah, it's just a lot about intentionality. I feel like my intentions coming to the game was to obviously get a win. We didn't come out with a win today, but I feel like we all tried our best to play team basketball, get the best shots, every position time down, and play defense.
What's going to go